If you're looking for intellectual, informed basketball takes, and you want to bring in media that knows what they're talking about, look no further than.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game, we don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break, throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break, throw me the outlet. We on the break, it's fast break. We on the break, it's fast break. Let's go.
Hey, man.
Luke, go home.
Where's the star?
Luke, y'all to the table for Jalen Brunson.
Where's the star?
Let's go.
We on the break, it's fast break. Let's go.
Hey, turn this up. The people can't hear the Knicks fans in the
Can't hear me?
on the podcast, man. We gotta be the loudest today.
They can't hear me right now? Where's the star at? I saw that nigga go on skates and go on a one-way trip. He ain't never come back. Where'd he go? Where did he go?
Man.
Where did he go, man? Let me tell you something. New York. What did I say in the intro? You want intellectual basketball? Well, that's what we're talking about today. Because the Knicks are up. I don't care about nothing else. We just smoked the Detroit pack. Boston up next. You heard? I don't care about none of that.
Look at Rose's face.
Y'all need to go get yourself a real center. And I can say it because I'm not on the team. They're not going to trade
What
me.
y'all want to talk about today?
And they're not going to trade me.
Can we get the intro? Can we get the intro done first?
This is Dre, King Dre, right here. That's Coach Paul.
They know who it is.
Maestro. And then you're the architect, the professional, Mr. On Time. That's Big Allen. What's up, y'all? Here's Fast Breaks. Outlet, got it. We're out. The Knicks are up. That's what we're talking about today.
What's happening?
Gordon, wouldn't it be good to be a Knicks fan right now?
Hey. It's not too late, brother.
Not for him.
Grand Risings.
Come on, son.
I am Ro, the hostess with some. I have some. Above me is Alan, the architect, the professional, Morpheus. To his left, Coach Paul, PRR Sports 1995.
That's a fact.
Below him is King Dre. We are an ensemble that goes by the moniker Fast Breaks. Someone has just shot a terrible shot.
Mm-hmm.
Are they on the Lakers?
Probably because they have a sprained MCL or a sprained big toe, back spasms, and it bricked. So there would be a rebound to get. If we have any big men on our fast break roster,
We do.
they could grab that board. Otherwise, Rudy Gobert will probably grab it.
24 boards.
So I'm unsure of what I can call because I don't know if we've secured the rebound.
I've secured the rebound. I'll be your big man for the Lakers.
you kindly throw the outlet so that we can maybe get some points in transition. Something easy,
Gotcha.
something simple.
Gotcha.
But that would require us to be athletic.
Yo.
Let me give the people what they want.
Do your best.
I'm gonna get this out the way. Let's just smoke on these packs. Miami, Eric Spoelstra. Miami, Eric Spoelstra packed you up. Orlando packed you up. Y'all know what I want to talk about first.
The New York Knicks.
Let's talk about Milwaukee.
Oh man,
That's what you want to talk about first.
Let's talk about Milwaukee.
Come on, son.
Let's talk about Milwaukee. Rest up, Dame. Get right. Get right.
Cancun on 3.
He
1,
doesn't
2, 3.
He doesn't deserve this. That man stayed loyal to the soil and worked his butt off for years. He doesn't deserve to be going out like this. Surgery and recovery have advanced in current years, so I'm prayerful that he and Kyrie will have successful rehabs and recovery and return to be highly effective players in their late 30s. All my guards. All my guys. Tearing themselves up. Ton up. But you know, the loss was one thing, but that wasn't even the story coming out of that series.
No.
Lo and behold, Fastbreaks listeners, if you'll hearken back to October, November at the beginning of the season, I asked y'all to pay attention to a trend, to pay attention to something. I said there's a certain superstar who is a 2-time MVP, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, that is struggling to garner respect from the basketball community writ large, how he moves. And I said for the last 2 years, he has not gone a season without multiple instances of him having to get buck because someone is disrespecting him. And I said it was indicative of something. And these men on this podcast here, my brothers, said, nah, it's not that deep. You dragging it. It's not that crazy. He had one to start the season. I'm not even going to go through all the ones he had during the season. But apropos, Row the Foreseer, how did Giannis end his season? He ended his season having to get buck in Indiana because multiple people immediately came to him to disrespect him. Still want to tell me a respect issue in this league? What say you? Go.
The Pacers are a disrespectful franchise. That's what I see. You still got no point. Matter and disrespectful. Ever since they signed that martial arts, what's his name? Scott? I forgot. Mike Scott.
James Johnson.
James Johnson. He's a real because he gives them confidence, bro. They can step to anyone.
They've been talking crazy.
He don't even play. He should be on the payroll as security. He doesn't even.
That's
play
what he is. That's what he is. He's bench confidence, bro. How many squabbles they in and they just end as soon as Johnson pulls up?
So y'all gonna duck the issue?
No, we're not ducking the issue. There is no issue. There is no issue. And the reason why I say that is because you're kind of right. You're kind of right. I've seen too much now. I've seen too much.
I told you to pay attention. You go and see it. You go and see it.
That's the crazy part. It's not. There have been multiple instances this year where I've seen people talk to Giannis, move in front of Giannis, do things to Giannis, act up in front of Giannis, say things to Giannis, score on Giannis. There is too many people. And this is the problem. Like, you're a top 3 player in the league. And at one point, it's like, you got to say something. You got to do something.
They don't do the same thing to Luka?
Huh?
No.
They don't do the same thing to Luka?
No.
They do. No, they do. People
Not
don't
like
respect
that.
him.
Not like
Especially
that.
not the refs. Especially not the refs.
They just score on him.
Tyrese
no,
Halliburton.
No one talks crazy like they do to Giannis, bro.
No,
that's a fact.
I think they do. It's just that Giannis don't talk back crazy.
Yeah, that's a fact. Luka be yelling at them in Slovenian.
So
Tyrese Halliburton's father is just a wild man.
Did you hear his rebuttal? He said I wasn't even talking to him. I was talking through him.
No, you see. No, wait, come on.
That was crazy.
That's a crazy response. That doesn't
wait.
sense.
I know what was crazy.
Tyrese Halliburton's father said
he tried to
one mic.
He tried to pull it off. He tried to pull off. I wasn't talking at him. I was talking through him. I couldn't even see him. That you're not getting that off, bro. Please.
What does that even mean?
You're not getting it off, my nigga.
I was speaking through him.
So y'all gonna duck. Y'all gonna continue to duck with all this evidence
because
you don't want to address this. You don't want to address this.
I already said you're right.
I want to.
What do you want? No. Look at me in the eye.
What we talking
Take them sunglasses off.
Andre, thank you. Alan.
I still don't agree because one, it's just the Pacers, and it's just the Pacers, and then we have already, and they have already there's established beef between both those teams. They have been going back at it for like over a year now, since going back to last playoff. Like Dave has been talking crazy about the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton specifically. Around the league, Tyrese Halliburton is like not liked. Like it's just the Pacers that
I want to talk about Giannis. Y'all are talking about the.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
let's address how Giannis is moving. No one wants to address how Giannis is moving.
That was going to be my next point. That was going to be my next point. Because earlier this year when we first brought it up, you said that Giannis is like has been like moving crazy for like someone of his stature. And my whole thing when we first brought it up is that I don't think he's moving crazy. He's just reacting to certain things that's happening. You reacting to what you perceive as disrespect is not moving crazy to me.
Right.
And he's still not moving crazy to me. Like nothing has changed.
He grabbed Benedict and palmed the back of his head and tried to put his head into his own body.
Yeah, you're going to talk. Why? You're going to find out. Why? Going to find out.
Why for that?
Let me. I guess you do. Wait. So since y'all want to say it's just the Pacers, I guess I do have to do a season in review for Giannis. Let's go through all the people Giannis had beef with today. Do you remember that 2 weeks ago? Do you remember that 2 weeks ago he beefed with his own former teammate because he disrespected him? And Malik Beasley blocked the man and wanted to shimmy under him, and then kept pushing him like he was a 10-year-old little brother.
He does that to everybody.
That's not.
And y'all don't think he has a problem with how he moves?
He does it to everybody. It's not a Giannis issue.
Taunting on the court. That's crazy.
That's not a Giannis
there's a difference
thing. He does it to everybody.
There's a difference between taunting and sunning. And y'all know hoop. Y'all know the difference. We could talk shit. We could go back and forth. You don't sun me.
And Malik Beasley is also a bad example because he's always trying to sun people too.
That's what I'm trying to say. He does it to everybody.
He did this. He did that shimmy to the Knicks 2 games ago. No, actually, he didn't.
No, I'm talking. No, y'all are not hearing what I'm saying. Giannis blocked Beasley.
No, I know what you're saying.
His shit.
But
then after that, he kept poking him like he was his 10-year-old little brother, following him up the court, pushing him. Hey, you're not tough. Huh? Oh, you're not tough. I told you this nigga not tough. You're not tough. You're not tough. I know you already. You're not tough. This nigga is not tough. Why is that a text? Because you can't do that, Giannis. You can't treat people out here like they're children, bro. Stop messing with that man. Leave that man alone.
But the thing is,
talk your shit and move on, bro.
The thing is that you have to understand, and here's the reality of it. Joel Embiid years ago got the reputation for being a generational troll. And for years, that evaded Giannis because he had the nice guy, Kobe disciple routine. But if Joel Embiid ever got any one of Giannis's accolades, he'd be doing the same thing, and people would be reacting the same way.
He's got an MVP, and he don't act like that.
He got his
MVP, and he for a minute tried to act serious.
Joel Embiid is the dirtiest player in the modern era.
No,
that's why I want to talk about him. All right, next incident.
He's one of the dirtiest. I'll give you that.
Ducking that one. Chris Paul.
What about him?
What about Chris Paul?
So we forget Giannis beefing with Chris Paul and then standing at half court.
Chris Paul be beefing with the whole world. I'm not hearing this.
I'm talking about Giannis standing at half court after the basketball game in front of the world, talking about I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Actually.
I'm right here.
I'm
right here. I'm right here. I
actually don't remember this.
Pull it up.
I don't remember this, but
pull it up.
You bring up to other people again who are known to like get into people's skin and do shit to people. Chris Paul was fought Kevin Durant.
And Giannis is proving sensitive and moving funny. I don't want to talk about the and how did Kevin Durant handle that?
LeBron is
the same way y'all. They almost fought. What did
KD say? KD said, "Bring that shit to the bag."
LeBron and KD are the most sensitive players in NBA history. Don't even think about comparing Giannis to them. What are we talking about?
KD said, "You're not going to do nothing."
KD got a burner
account. KD has a burner account. Hold on.
KD
on court.
KD doesn't deal with it on court. He goes talk shit about you.
What does that have to do with on court? What does it have to do with on
court? That's soft. He got a burner to talk trash.
What does that have to do with on court?
What's your
why are we bringing it down to on court only? It's the whole
because
thing.
That's where Giannis moves funny.
At least he does it on court. At least he does it.
No, it's soft to do it on court. No one gonna do nothing on court in front of the world, bro.
It's softer to do it online on a burner.
I don't think.
Is it?
Yes.
100%. Let me tell you what Giannis's problem is. Giannis's problem is
so we acknowledge he has a problem. Can we at least agree on that, Andre? You already agreed that he has a problem. He has an issue.
No.
He has a respect issue.
Hold on, wait. I agree with the fact he has a respect issue and the fact that people don't be respecting him. I don't agree that it's a Giannis problem though. I don't know if it's necessarily him doing it. I can agree to the fact that people are disrespecting him and he'd be acting crazy afterwards.
What other explanation is there if it's not based on his behavior and his persona?
Giannis's
I don't know what it is. Hold on. My thing's moving weak. I'm a log off.
Yeah, there's a delay. Lower your all right, whatever. Anyway, Giannis's problem is his jump shot. That's it. If he had a more reliable jump shot, the team will be better. Listen, you gotta understand.
Wait,
no. Let me finish.
But you're talking about
you don't know where I'm going. You don't know where I'm going.
All right.
Giannis, because of how great he is always considered to be a favorite in the NBA and a juggernaut team. The Bucks are considered a juggernaut team, no matter how bad they are.
By who?
They are still they are still considered they're one of the great teams. They are. So now listen to what I'm saying.
By who?
The players. So let me say this, right? They see a moment of weakness with this great player. That's why the Pacers bucked up like that. They wouldn't buck up like that if they were the number one seed. And I'm saying if his jump shot was better, more consistent, and shows up in the playoffs, you say he's the greatest playoff performer ever. He's not, or one of the greatest. He's not.
I said he's the greatest playoff performer in the game today.
No, he's not.
I don't think that's true.
No, he's not. And I should have said something earlier, but I wanted to see if his jump shot was going to disappear like it usually does, right? Except for that 1 year when he won the chip, right? His jump shot faded away. He became easier to guard, and the team became easier to guard. Not saying he needed more help, but yes. And I'm not saying that they couldn't have gotten him more help, but regardless of the help.
In 5 games, he averaged 33, 16, and 7.
That's fine. And
what are you talking about? What are you talking about to me right now?
LeBron James in 2014 had a lot of great stats. He was easier to guard. They built a wall on him. So Giannis became easier to guard this year and last year and the year before last, right? Injuries, whatever. And because of that, teams are like, oh, they could be had. So now teams are like, I am going to I am going to go in and say everything that I've been wanting to say about this team to this team and go at this great player and get on his nerves because there's an opportunity to do it. I could say I took down Giannis and irritated him. That's what it is. It's not anything different. Nobody disrespects him more than they disrespect anybody else in the league. What are you talking about?
That can't be true.
Think about the things that Anthony Edwards was saying to all these
I already
players.
know Andre doesn't agree with that. Alan, do you agree with that? That the disrespect Giannis gets is commensurate with his peers?
Yes, because of the people specifically you're talking about.
What?
The Chris, with
I'm
the Chris
telling you.
Pauls, the Malik Beasleys. Like those guys go online and talk. Well, not Chris Paul, but Malik Beasley.
We have
online
seen
talking
things
about other
happen. We've
people.
seen Giannis involved in moments that we have not seen any other star player ever involved in. What are y'all talking
They're
about?
not that
tonight?
serious.
But that doesn't
What do y'all-
mean that doesn't
what
doesn't
to
mean those players. That doesn't mean like he's getting disrespected more than those players. He might react more, or he might just see the reaction.
So-
Maybe other guys
Well,
are just
react
more
differently.
cool about it.
Time out. So then it's
Those
one or
guys
the other.
might-
So that Alan, okay, let's say you take your premise, then it's one or the other.
Yeah.
He's involved in situations we've never seen before. If y'all saying it's not because of irregular behavior by other people, then we have to discuss why his reaction is so irregular.
What are you talking
There's
about? Never
something
seen
to
before?
talk about there.
Only if you see it as
He
a
always
problem.
in these
I don't see it as a
situations-
problem. That's
What do
only
you
if see
mean
it as
by
a
never
problem.
seen before?
My whole thing is him reacting to disrespect is not a problem to me. You react how you react because he's not going out here punching guys. He's literally just going
Right.
to talk to your face and challenging what you're saying and see if you really about it.
Right.
His reaction to me is not
So
a problem.
Y'all
That's
think what he's getting met with, one, warrants his reaction, and two, is not like that reaction doesn't signify that it's something more than what is regular.
When
You think he just stands on it like that he reacts like that to things that other people are also receiving, but they just let it slide? Is that what y'all trying to tell me right now?
most of these other people don't get talked to that way because their teams are good and have been good. That's what I'm trying to say. Winning has a lot to do with it. I'm telling
Wait,
you
I
right
don't know
now.
because Giannis was
What?
getting talked to that way when his team was like on
What?
the cusp of winning.
It's the truth. Winning cures all.
What?
No, wait, but Paul, hold on. Giannis has been getting talked to that way for years. I mean, before it was talking. I mean, now it's actually in a lot of ways the disrespect has gone down because he used to get physical. Like he used to get pushed a lot. He
It's
used to get
still
knocked
physical, bro. How many times has Giannis been pushed out the air this year? How many times has Giannis been slapped across his face? Like, come on, and you're right, that has been going on for years. The Wagners, Isaiah Stewart.
So
I can keep
superstars don't
going.
get pushed out the air.
I'm sorry.
Superstars don't get pushed out the air.
No, they do. But I'm sorry.
When's the last
maybe
time you
it's
see
the way he
LeBron get
plays.
pushed out the air?
You know the thing
When's
is,
the last time I
because
see LeBron get up high enough to even get pushed out the air?
I don't know. I think one thing is
He's
also
old.
like with Giannis.
You ever see
like,
Anthony Edwards get pushed out the air?
Anthony Edwards.
No,
Yeah.
I've seen him get pushed.
Out the air?
not out the air.
I have seen it actually. Yes.
You've seen him get pushed out the air? I
Yes.
don't recall
I've
that.
seen him have
We
hard
can move
falls.
on. If you're gonna cap, bro,
I'm not
we're
capping.
Come on now.
Okay, wait. No, he fell awkwardly. It wasn't pushed. It wasn't pushed. He fell awkwardly.
That's what I'm
Giannis,
saying. Like, I've
Giannis
seen him fall,
routinely
but I
gets
haven't
pushed
seen him,
out
like,
the air.
forced.
Isn't that a sign of respect?
No, because you can injure somebody like that. That's disrespect. You could hurt somebody for real. I don't
If
think
the only way I could stop you is pushing you out the air.
No, that's
No,
disrespect.
That's what you say to talk shit back after you get pushed out the air, but it is not actually respect. It is a
If that's the
disregard.
only way
It's a
they feel they can
disregard.
stop
It's a
you.
disregard for your well-being.
Who puts it? Was it the Pacers that did that? Because you know the Pacers.
No, I just named you 3 people that did it over the course of years. They've all done it multiple times, and I could keep going. I'm just talking about this season. Both Wagners did it to him this season, and they're repeat offenders on him. And Isaiah Thomas literally pulled his jersey while he was in air and slammed him on the ground.
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Stewart.
Isaiah
Sorry.
Stewart.
Look who you were talking.
Yeah.
No,
Isaiah Stewart ran after
Wagners-
LeBron with a bloody mouth.
The Wagners, they like that.
The Magic are like that.
the Magic.
I
are-
said the Wagners. Are the Wagners like that?
yes.
They are. The whole team is Rough Riders. They get physical. They're known as a physical team.
Yeah, that's the thing. So we're talking about
Every
whose
example you
behavior-
got is a bad example.
We're saying whose behavior invites that. The thing is with Giannis, he plays so physical. Like, I'm not gonna front. If we went back and watched Shaq tape for real, I'm sure guys were trying to do this to Shaq,
Yes,
but
absolutely.
it just didn't work because he's stronger than them.
Exactly.
I don't know if Giannis is at the same physical level.
No, that happened to a certain point, and then he got fouled hard. But Shaq, when he was young, he got tried twice, put it to bed, and no one ever
How
tried
did he
him
put
again.
it to bed? Let's talk about it. How did he put it to bed?
Once and for all.
Oh,
So
wow.
for all, Allen is talking about how I'm having no problem with Giannis's reaction. Clearly, none of that. It's all
Did he
wolf
get
tickets.
violent?
It's all wolf tickets. It's all
Did he
wolf.
get violent?
No one believes him, bro.
Did Shaquille
so all that
O'Neal get violence?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to it. I've been thinking this, but you didn't give me a reason to say it. You want Giannis to punch somebody in the face.
Yes.
No, I don't. I want
That's
Giannis.
the only solution to what you're talking about.
I don't want anything for Giannis. I'm trying to get to the bottom of a trend that people seem to be ignoring, and no one wants to acknowledge that this is weird, bro.
It's not that
I
weird.
don't think this shit is weird, bro.
No,
because it's always him, and it's always shit we've never seen before.
Because he's the most physical player. Listen, he's the most physical player in the league. He gets compared to Shaq, and you're right. And what I said before holds true. People tried Shaq, and it just didn't work at a point. Paul, low key, I think Giannis does have to swing on somebody at some point.
No, that's the only solution to what Ro's talking about.
I think that's what has to happen.
Okay, but here's the thing.
At some point, he's got to do like enough.
But Paul, I'm not advocating for. I just want there to be acknowledgement. So maybe that is
what's
the
the
solution.
nigga on your shirt say about
that
this?
to be. Wait, hold on, Paul. Maybe that is the solution. But for it to be a solution,
that's the answer.
Hold on. Paul, maybe that is the solution. I'm not advocating for that. I don't know. All I want to get out of y'all is if you acknowledge that maybe that's a solution, that implicitly implies there's a problem. And y'all want to keep acting like there's not an issue, bro.
No,
but if you're gonna acknowledge that that's the only solution, that you're acknowledging there's something to be addressed. Maybe problem's the wrong word. Maybe issue's the wrong word. If y'all don't like those words, something's going on. We have to acknowledge something is happening here with this guy.
I said that's the only solution to what you said is a problem.
I don't think it's a problem. We could take the word problem out. We could take whatever word out you don't like. Something is happening. Can we acknowledge there's something going on with Giannis?
No, what's going on is the team could be had. And what happens is when your team is like, if you're not going to fight and get physical, which I'm not going to be mad at Giannis for not fighting.
Okay, then Paul, maybe that's what it is. Then that needs to be addressed. One of the best players in the world is this vulnerable that people are trying him. Can we at least address that? We gotta stop acting like nothing's going on, like it's just regular. Whatever, like whatever you want to call it, Paul. There's a weird energy. There's something around the aura of Giannis.
Is it weirder than what happens to LeBron? Because people still
maybe that's what it is, Paul. Maybe that's what it is. Like you're saying, this guy's good.
That's not rare. Then it's not a Giannis issue. There is no Giannis issue.
You can't tell me when that's happening.
No, you see, that's where we
just player of his level. Name it.
Yes.
Name it.
Yes. LeBron James. We just talked about how
they didn't try LeBron like this. They didn't.
Isaiah Stewart ran out your mind.
You out your mind. This is how the OGs talk about him right now.
Out your mind.
Isaiah Stewart tried to just
and they 2 years ago. Bro, you talking about LeBron 2 years ago, bro. I'm talking about when he was at the peak of his powers before 30. Giannis isn't even 30 yet, y'all. No, he's not even 30. He's in the prime of his powers, and they trying him like this. You're not telling me that. Okay, sure, he just turned 30 this year. You're not telling me that pre-30. Whatever.
I gotta go back.
You're not telling me that pre-32 they was trying LeBron like this. You out of your mind.
I'm sure actually.
And you're saying you're sure and it doesn't even come to mind? You can't even think of an incident. You can't even think of an incident.
I'm sure I can go back and find some. Because let me tell you something.
The fact that you can't think of it.
Here's what people don't remember. I saw a video the other day that reminded me of some things. Pre-30-year-old LeBron was a dickhead. So I'm telling you.
He was, and who tried him? He was, and who tried him?
I gotta go back and check because I'm sure. I am sure. At least Kobe, I know for a fact.
Joakim Noah
might have tried. Let me, man.
And what happened to him?
Tyson Chandler with the hard foul on him.
And what happened to him?
Tyson Chandler with the hard foul.
Y'all naming shit that happened 2-3 years ago, bro. I'm talking about in his prime. No one would step to the king in his prime the way they step into Giannis, bro.
All right, you said 32.
Lost your mind.
You said 32.
Pre-32.
That's his prime.
I don't want to. Okay, I'm talking.
No, because you talking about the Heat days.
No, he's
talking about the last Cavs. Those last.
The last Cavs was like.
I would say after what LeBron did in Detroit. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? He didn't get tried until maybe his last year. Not even when he was a Laker. That's the only time I seen him start getting tried. By who?
He definitely got tried on the Heat.
By who? By who? Say it. Name it.
I gotta go back and look.
Y'all assuming, bro. That's what I'm saying. Y'all assuming
it didn't happen. I remember I remember LeBron not being respected a lot. I remember that.
Not in this way.
You're dragging Giannis.
He got disrespected by narrative because they say he's taking the easy way out. No one was in his face
He got called a
disrespecting him on
flopper,
court.
soft. They said
Cold,
stop flopping.
cold. It was all they said things about him. No one stepped to LeBron. You can't name me any time during that era where someone literally physically stepped to LeBron.
Mario Chalmers.
That's funny. I'm sure KG did it. I'm sure.
Dwight said he did the same thing Mario Chalmers did. He was off the team. Let's continue.
All right, so y'all gonna continue to this.
Ain't nothing to duck.
When we come back, no, Andre, thank you for being objective and at least acknowledging
What?
there's
So
something.
we disagree with you without being objective?
Because listen, we could disagree with Alan. I think I like your take that it's not a problem because I don't necessarily need to stand on it's a problem, but we can't act like there's not a trend here and there's not something going on. To act like what we're watching is regular is not objective to me. You can't sit and watch one guy consistently be in very odd scenarios involving
very odd.
Yeah, let me bring something up. Because I agree with Paul. It's not very odd because a couple of days after this happened, Tyrese Halliburton's dad just got banned from Pacers game because this is not the first.
And that's not odd to you?
No, because look, hear me out. Because he's getting constant complaints from other teams and players all year long. They said so now it is, but that means he's not. People are not just trying Giannis. That and other names I should bring up who are constantly having trouble with other players. It's not odd that Giannis in situations. It's just that we just happen to see it. You know what I mean? Like these people, Giannis is not getting tried more so than other players. It's not odd situations. It's not odd situations. Like if Tyrese Halliburton's dad is getting this much trouble with the man's not allowed to watch his son in the playoffs anymore.
For as much as you want to say Halliburton's dad, sure. If you want to say Halliburton's dad has a behavior issue, tell me the other player he did that to.
I don't know, but I'm telling you,
it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
The Pacers said he has gotten multiple complaints from other teams and players. Multiple,
yes, it did happen.
Along.
No,
so
that doesn't mean that exactly happened. It means his behavior has been problematic before.
Oh my gosh!
But that behavior,
you're being disingenuous.
But wait, y'all are trying to strip the context. Like, I'm not talking about specifically what happened. I'm talking about specifically what actually happened. Because y'all like, oh, we saw that. Because that behavior is visible, which is part of how disrespectful it is. You talking slick on the side, out of the view of cameras, is a different behavior than in the middle, right after the buzzer sounds, running to mid-court and popping shit in a player's face. I'm talking about that level, that specific. He hasn't done that to no one else because we would have saw it. We would have saw it, right?
They lost. But it gave him an opportunity to do it. He didn't have an opportunity to do it. But the trend in his behavior showed the trend in his behavior showed that he would have done it to somebody else if it was a situation.
Oh, wait. Hold on, Paul. How did he not have the opportunity to do that any other game where he was courtside?
Playoffs. Series ending game is different. Heightened intensity. If he did that every game, then he would have been banned a long time ago. But what he did was other things that he could get away with. This is the Pacers'
first time in the playoffs.
This is the first time that the Pacers played the Bucks and lost. Wait, no, that's not true. They played last year.
Right. So stop talking to me. So what are you talking about? He didn't have another opportunity. What are y'all talking about?
He did it last year too, then.
No, he didn't. Now you're just gonna make it up.
Last year too.
Now you're just gonna make it up.
He wilded out. He wilded out last year.
You're just gonna make up shit. Now you're making up shit.
Hold on. Oh, you're trying to isolate an issue that's clearly part of a trend. The same thing you're saying about us with Giannis is what you should be saying about Tyrese Halliburton's father. There's a trend there. What he did is not uncommon for him. Just because he went on the court, that don't mean. Why are you acting like that's so different?
I'm done, bro.
Why are you acting like that's so different?
What I'm gonna say about his dad is,
why are we talking about his dad?
If they ban him for like doing this because other people are complaining about him, he's not just talking slick. Like players and teams can handle that. There's clearly something more that he's
but it's still not whatever that was is still not this because we would have saw it because this is visible. You're acting like that does not add a texture. You're acting like you're not.
That's not true. You're assuming.
How is that not true?
Because we saw one issue, that means you would have saw all the other issues. that are similar in vein?
No, that's exactly what I'm pointing out. This is different than any other issue, precisely because
Who
it
said
was
so?
so. I'm about to explain why. Precisely because it was so public and visible. The public visible nature of it makes it distinct. And that's what I'm saying.
Tyrese Halliburton's father, he was a thing. You think he was thinking about the fact that it was public and visible? That's just who he is. It happens on camera. So the disrespect that you're saying that he's leveraging to Giannis is not a Giannis thing. It's not like he's looking at Giannis and saying, "Oh, let me disrespect this guy because he's Giannis, and I don't like how he moves."
Bro. If they were playing the Celtics,
talk about the Lakers, man.
Wait, real quick. If they was playing the Celtics, you would think he would have did that
to Jason Tatum?
To anyone on the Celtics court.
You see, that's ridiculous.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are y'all nuts? Are y'all nuts?
You think they respect Tatum more than Giannis?
Hell yes.
No, you respect him more than Giannis. Let's talk about
it. And he damn sure wouldn't. I'll tell you this. He damn sure wouldn't have done that to Jaylen Brown. I'll tell you that right now. He damn sure wouldn't have done that to Jaylen.
Yes, he would. Jaylen Brown probably would have been something worse back.
Hell no. They wouldn't have done that to Jaylen Brown.
You think that everybody views these players the way you do? Who is Jaylen Brown?
I'm basing my view of these players based off what I'm observing on how they get treated. So I'm not. I like Giannis. I'm pointing out. Y'all think I'm saying this because I don't like Giannis. I'm being a journalist. I'm being observant. I'm watching the way he's getting treated by his peers, and I'm saying there's something there. It doesn't come from personal. I don't have any disrespect in my heart from Giannis. I'm saying I have eyes, and I'm watching what's going on, and no one wants to talk about it. But it's okay. It's okay. What's the comment saying?
Nobody cares about Giannis and nobody. Let's talk about what we're trying to talk about.
Clearly.
Let's talk. Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. Hold on.
Go ahead, Packers.
Only last thing I want to say is how come Draymond never tried Giannis? Why is there no?
They play twice a year.
You see, I told he was gonna say that. I told he's gonna say
that's enough times for Draymond. Draymond don't need that much time.
It is enough times, but they only play twice a year.
Dre,
I'll say this too.
Dre, you come to the light and you will help shepherd the others as this continues to escalate.
Wait a minute. No. Hold on. All I said is I agree there's a problem of players in this league disrespecting Giannis.
That's all I'm saying. That's literally all my point is. No, Dre, don't put words in my mouth. What you just said is all I'm saying. I'm telling you that right now. What you just said is my only point.
If that's your only point, then yes.
That's why I keep looking at them like they're crazy because they think I'm trying to take it further. All I'm saying is exactly what you just said, and they don't agree to that, which is why I'm saying that's not objective. Because to act like there's something, there's not an energy, something going on. We could disagree on what the reason is. I don't necessarily have a strong feeling about the source or whether the reaction is right or not. To act like this guy isn't disproportionately involved in incidents involving disrespect is ignoring your eyes. It's ignoring your eyes. But we can move on. Thank you, Dre, for having eyes.
I do what I have to tell you.
Let's move on. It's been too much of this on a losing team.
Go ahead. Pack Detroit up. Pack Detroit up. Go ahead.
Listen, let me actually, you know what? I said enough in the beginning. I said a lot in the beginning. Paul, I want to hear from you. We had a very productive conversation the other night. I want to hear some takes from that.
I'm taking Jalen Brunson over Luka.
Every time.
I'm taking Jalen Brunson over LeBron.
I'm
taking Jalen Brunson over Jaylen Brown. I'm taking Jalen Brunson over Tatum. I'm taking Jalen Brunson over Ant, although Ant is up. Yeah,
you're out of your mind.
I'm taking Jalen Brunson over all of them. You know why? Because the thing that people see, Skip Bayless got a lot of slack for talking about intangibles. And he talks about intangibles a lot.
That's not why he got slack.
That's part. I agree. I'm not going there. Yeah, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
But, slack.
But that's part of it, though. No, but that is part of it, though. Because people talk about stats and this and that. I'm not going there. I'm not going into. But that's a part of it.
I would argue that was the only redeeming thing that he would talk about. Is that he would talk? That's the only legitimate argument he ever made.
Well, a lot of people didn't like it, right? Because they'll think that they were just chatting and ignoring stats. But what I'm going to say is this. Intangibles are a big part of the game, of sports, especially basketball. And when it comes to intangibles, when it comes
Talk
to
about it,
leadership,
Gordon. Talk
when it
about
talks
Gordon.
about when it comes to intangibles, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to getting the job done, there is not Shea,
What has
not
he got
Joker,
done? What did
not
JB get
LeBron,
done? What did
not
he get done?
Luka.
What did he get
None.
done?
Hey, Lakers. Hey, go. You
What has he
lick
got
your
done?
wounds. Go lick your
What
wounds.
has he got done?
My team is still in
What
the
has
playoffs.
he got done?
My team is still in the
What-
playoffs.
What has he got done?
You gonna worry about Luka not being able to get you out the first round.
What has he got done?
You gonna lick your wounds. Did more than Luka. Did more than LeBron. Let's go. Listen.
He's won chips and been to finals. I didn't know that.
Listen. He did
I
more
didn't know
than
that.
this year. What have you
I
done
didn't
for
know
me
that.
lately?
This year,
What have
you
you
done
done for me
This
lately?
year
I didn't
he's
know
done
What have
that.
you done for me
This
lately?
I
year
didn't
he's
know
done
that.
Don't you wish you had
Wow.
Jalen Brunson?
I'm pretty sure.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure Brunson's
Don't you
only
wish you had
time.
Jalen Brunson?
I'm pretty sure Brunson's only
Don't
time.
you wish you
gets to a
had
con-
Jalen Brunson?
I'm
Go
pretty
lick your
sure-
wounds. LeBron should even build the Lakers. Let's talk about it.
I'm pretty sure Brunson's only time.
Let's talk
getting to a
about
con-
it.
LeBron's
pretty
off to
sure-
Dallas next season. Don't worry.
Andre,
I'm
imagine
pretty-
being a New Yorker and not being happy after
Correct.
seeing that shot going.
I
I'm
couldn't.
Imagine
pretty
being
sure-
from Brooklyn, New York, and being mad because the
couldn't.
Lakers lost.
I couldn't. I couldn't.
I'm
Let's
pretty
really
sure.
talk.
I'm pretty sure.
I
I'm
couldn't
pretty
imagine
sure
that.
Brunson's only time getting to a conference finals was with Luka. No.
What?
Oh.
What? Say that again. I
Oh.
couldn't hear. I was celebrating.
Nah, because you kept talking over me, so I said it and it's done. The comments heard it.
No, you talked over me.
No, he said,
comments
and I
You talked over.
quote,
This
he
is
said,
my time.
he said the only time Brunson's been to a conference finals was with Luka.
Yeah, and he's going there again
Oh.
next year.
Going there
Knicks
this
in six.
season. So what are you gonna say when he goes there this season?
Knicks in 6. You want to go predictions?
Oh,
Want to go
Whoa.
predictions?
Knicks.
Let's see it.
There
Let's
is
see
something
it.
special going
Let's
on
see
in
it.
New York City.
Listen, hey,
There's something
hey.
different
Before
going
you
on
on
in
my
New York City.
before you stay on my head top, remember that it's Celtics K and I put Red Auerbach in the pack. So don't act like I'm on the
Yeah,
other side of that.
whatever.
Wait, no.
Whatever.
But-
You
but
got on
you're not-
sunglasses after Jalen Brunson put on.
Yeah,
He just did
yeah.
what Jordan did.
Oh my
No,
God.
he did.
It was
He
literally
did.
the same
He did
move.
play for play. He did play for
Jordan
play.
said in the NBA Finals to
You
win the
can't-
chip. To
and we-
win the chip. Y'all talking about our first round against a
And
team
when
that's
we
never been to
get
the playoffs
there,
before.
And when we get there, he might do
I
it
can't
there.
stand y'all. Y'all guess everything. I can't deal
That
with it.
was one of
Y'all
the
have
most
no
clutch shots you've
humility.
seen in a
Y'all have
long
the-
time in the NBA.
Oh my God.
That was one of the most clutch shots you've seen in a long
It
time
wasn't
in the
even more
NBA.
clutch than Luka's shot versus Gobert last year. It
That was
wasn't even more
last.
clutch
What did
than
Luka
that.
do for you this year?
You said in years.
Luka's regressing.
You said in years, no? You said in years. So
Yeah.
how can I point to last year a bigger shot than that already? 1 year.
Why was
It
it?
wasn't a bigger
Why
shot.
was it? Why was it a
It was
bigger
the
shot?
conference
Because he was in the-
finals.
Exactly. But look at the difficulty of the shot. Look at the timing of the shot. It's different. I understand your point, but we can make an
We're talking
argument.
about first round, brother.
You couldn't even make it out the first round.
Look
What are we
at the
talking
shot.
about?
Look
Yeah,
at
you
the
keep having to
shot.
bring it to me. I'm talking about the
Look
argument
at the
y'all made.
shot.
Stop bringing up the Lakers. The
Look
Lakers are
at
out
the
of
shot.
here.
Look at the shot, though. The shot itself.
A wide open pull up three.
Wide. Oh, he had to get himself wide open.
Yeah,
You see what
great
you doing?
move.
Matters so
Great
much. You
snatch.
know why it
You
matters
doing?
so much?
Great
Because
snatch.
so
Hold
many-
on. Great
Oh
snatch.
my gosh.
Beautiful separation. 1-2 step into a wide open 3-pointer. Great move. Y'all tell me
On a
that's more.
good defender. Luka
Sure.
did that to Rudy Gobert
Oh, so now Rudy's not a good defender. What I've been saying
on the
for years-
perimeter.
We've
But
been
I've been
saying
saying-
On the
this,
perimeter?
We're
Y'all-
not
y'all
gonna
are
let you
funny.
turn this around.
On the
We're not gonna let
y'all
you
are
turn this
funny.
around. No one was
Y'all are
out
funny.
here
You're
defending
trying
Rudy
hard,
Gobert's
boy.
defense.
Y'all
You're
are
trying
funny,
very
bro.
hard.
Y'all are
You're
mad
trying very
funny, bro.
hard.
No one was
Listen,
out
Y'all
here.
are mad funny,
all I'm
bro.
gonna say, all I'm gonna
Nobody
say,
was out here.
all I'm
Hold
gonna-
on, Paul, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Can I say this? Nobody
Yeah.
was out here defending Rudy Gobert's defense. We were all talking about what a
No, I
trash.
said he's a good
What-
defender. He's a good defender.
So
Not
we
the
didn't
perimeter.
for a year
Perimeter
for a
defender?
year and a
You
half.
didn't say
Y'all
that.
wasn't
You
trying
didn't say
for a
that.
year and a half. Y'all wasn't trying to tell me about how he's an advanced statistical darling.
He is an advanced statistical darling.
When I said that, I said that to tell you why teams like him. We wasn't defending his defense. I'm just
No,
trying
I
to
said
get
he's
you
a
to
good
realize
defender in the
why teams
perimeter.
like
No,
him.
On the
Yo,
paint.
He's a
Yo,
good paint defender.
Y'all know we have this recorded.
Yes, I
No,
know. Go back.
no.
Podcast is
You
recorded,
you act
bro.
like
Genuine.
wait, time out. You can't say that no more. You can't say that no more. You act like we don't have things recorded. I realize you be lying on this podcast, bro.
Hold
I
on.
be lying.
Hold on.
I be lying.
You be lying.
I
Last
be
week,
lying.
Hold on.
yeah. No,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
last week,
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's pull the
last
tape.
episode.
Wait, we holding folks accountable? Wait, before
No,
we
no,
start,
no.
Alan, I just want to be clear. Is this an open forum for accountability or just me?
No. Just you.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, all right.
I remember
All
last
right,
week
then.
you
All
talking
right,
about
then.
how
We don't want to
last
play the
week-
game. We don't want to play the
no,
full
but
game.
listen,
Now, fuck it. Oh,
listen,
we play the
listen,
game.
I
listen.
make all the clips, so I
Last
review
week-
the tape every week, brother. Every week, I review the
Last
tape. We don't want
week
to
you
do this.
mentioned how you was talking about how Anthony Edwards was one of your top playoff like prizes or whatever, right?
Sure.
You said that last week.
I did.
Wasn't
Proved
you the
me right,
same one
didn't
the
he?
week before?
Prove me right, didn't he?
But no, the week before you did not have him on there. You was trying to convince me to take him out of my top 10.
No, I did not.
The week before,
He's in my top 10. What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure you was trying to get me on
Matter
the
of
top
fact,
10.
me and Dre just had this conversation last night, and I pointed out that Dre's the only one who didn't have in his top 10.
That's actually a fact.
No, I remember you trying to get me to replace him with Anthony Davis.
But then I put
Ooh,
both.
That does sound
And
familiar.
at the end of the convo, Alan, I said, you know what? That's a fact. I'm putting in, and I gotta put AD in, and I took someone else out.
There is
So,
no
so,
list.
so the
that's
conversation
respectable.
ended with us both having in. So what's your point?
There's no list that's respectable without
All right,
getting
if you-
Brunson on the top 10. That's all I'm gonna say.
Is he not on my list? Is he not on my
Is
list?
he?
I can pull it up right
He's
now.
not on the top
If
10.
you can put it up if you say it's on your list, that's fine. But I remember you trying to get
Trey,
it off
Trey,
of my list.
Trey, did we not talk this literally less than 12 hours
We
ago?
did. We did.
He's
did.
on
This is
my
12
list.
hours ago. I'm talking about 2 weeks ago.
I'm
You
saying
had him
no,
on
but
your
I'm
list 2
saying
weeks ago.
less than 12 hours ago, I pulled up the list because Dre was trying to tell me he had Ant in it, and I literally pulled up the list that I made contemporaneously during that pod, and he's the only one that didn't have Ant in his top 10.
Who did I have in there again? You told me last night.
So I'll pull it up right now. Give me 30 seconds.
Nixon 6.
And this is why I say, are we doing accountability for everybody? Because I wasn't even going to bring that up against Dre today. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That man
All right,
didn't
you
have
can do
it in his top 10. Dre,
That's
your
crazy,
top
man.
10. Jokic, Tatum, this is order, by the way. Jokic, Tatum, Luka, Giannis, Brunson, Curry, AD, Kawhi, LeBron, KD. That's Andre's top 10.
That's
Paul.
what I'm trying to do.
All right.
It's actually a good top. I actually kind of stand by it, but I kind of feel like I got to take KD or AD out for Ant, because we were talking about this last night. Also, his development has accelerated to the point where, like,
I
honestly-
said this.
No,
I
but
said more
hold on.
accountability,
You did say
adoption of takes.
You-
Let's
you
talk
did say
about
that.
adoption of takes on this podcast.
You did say that.
he did.
I remember
He did.
you saying
But
that.
Thank you.
what
You
he said- hold
Oh,
on.
you didn't open a can of worms with accountability, Alan. You didn't want to do this today. You didn't want to do this today.
Listen, I'm not running from the smoke either. I did say that. I did say all that. But I'm going to say this too. I did not expect him to develop during the course of a 5-game series. I did not expect him to get that much better in only 5 games to figure out the Lakers quickly and become an immediate threat. You said this last night, that his gravity was such a threat to them, to the Lakers, which is a problem that has not existed for him. I mean, it's existed, but not to that level throughout the season. It's gotten better as the season went on.
Matter of fact, Alan, how dare you try to say I wasn't running for Ant when I'm the only one who put on my first team All-NBA this year? Let's talk about accountability. I'm
That's
the only
fine.
one who put. I'm the only one who put
different-
Ant in the first team this year.
That's a very different thing.
He led the league in
Think from
threes,
top 10
and y'all don't
players.
have him in the. Come on, man.
That's
I'm
a
the
very
only one
different
who
thing.
had Ant in the first team.
I wasn't saying you
Don't
ran
do
for
that,
Ant.
bro.
It's not about running for Ant. It's about you and I. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I thought you didn't put him in your top 10 because you was trying to take him out of mine.
How could I
If
not?
I'm
have my
wrong,
top
I'm
10?
wrong.
How can
I
not
got
have
no
my-
problem admitting when I'm
the
wrong.
only one
You
who's
gotta
not on
go
my
full tape
first team. I'm the only one. Listen, I might have went back and forth with you debating it, but at the end of the day, I said yeah. And prior to that conversation, I clearly was feeling that way because I'm the only one who put him in my first team.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. So you
Nah, you're
ain't
not
gotta
all
tell
the
me
way
nothing
wrong.
about
You're not
no
all the way wrong.
accountability.
You're not all the way
You ain't
wrong,
gotta
Alan.
tell me nothing about
Alan,
accountability. I can
Alan,
always admit when I'm wrong.
That's a listen, and you know what? That's a fact, and I give you credit for that. You do that. And that's why I'm gonna validate you. You're not wrong per se. We had a back and forth about it where I wanted to talk about it in terms of what the others have done, but we ended in agreement as we usually do, Alan. That's why I can't believe you don't bring me smoke.
Listen, you kind of got me excited when you was talking about some all this line and all that, yada. But it's all good.
Now I feel that I like where you stand on the Giannis topic, like I said, but I just feel like to not acknowledge whatever. It seems dismissive.
You still
I'll use that
disingenuous,
word.
though. You still disingenuous because you talking
Let's
about,
do it.
now he's a
Let's
good
do it.
defender because
Let's do it.
nobody
Let's
said
do it.
Rudy Gobert is a good perimeter defender,
that's
which
what
is where
we
Luka,
want.
That's a fact.
which is where
Nobody said
Luka,
that.
nice stuff.
Nobody
Rudy
said
Gobert.
that.
Nobody said that. I said he's a good interior paint defender. That's it. But
Question.
anyway,
So y'all telling me that being covered by Asar Thompson, a rookie, was greater defensive coverage than Rudy
Yes.
Gobert?
Yes.
no. I'm at the way
No, I'll
you
tell
answer
you
that question. I want to hear
I'll
what
tell
you
you
got to
that.
say about that.
Undoubtedly.
You tell me.
That's a good question for
Undoubtedly.
you, Lance.
Asar
You
Thompson
tell
is
me.
going
You
to
know
be
what
one
we
of the
say
best
about that.
defenders.
What do
If
you
not the
think?
best
Going
defender.
to.
He's going to. Right now, he's
I
one of the best.
don't.
He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Right now, currently.
It's the playoffs and he's a rookie, bro. He's food. Let's be real.
He's not food. That's the problem. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Food is gassing you. He's not food.
He's not food.
He's not food.
He's food. We just
Jalen
watched
Brunson made him look like food because he's
Yeah.
top 5.
which he should do. I'm agreeing with it. Why?
I'm
It's
gonna
not
be honest.
smoke,
There are a
brother.
lot of
Jalen
guys.
Brunson,
there are a
I've
lot of
seen
guys
Jalen
in
Brunson
the
make
playoffs
veterans look
that
like
can
food,
do.
though.
There are
I
a
mean,
lot of guys in this
Which is
playoffs.
why,
Jalen
which is
Brunson
why,
is
which is
so
why a
setting
rookie,
JB
which is why a rookie is more food. Jalen
He
Brunson,
wasn't, but no, he did a good job though.
he did a good job. He was out the camera frame.
I'm not talking about that. Okay, so you're gonna ignore the possession before that, directly before that, where he actually got a stop and caused a shot clock violation. Strict
Yes.
Brunson
Yes.
stopped it, blocked his shot. You're gonna ignore that?
The daylights out of him. JB had to get him
Asar
back. He's a
Thompson
good defender.
did a good job. Not because he was a rookie, but because like at NBA standards, he did a great job.
I think
He
if
was
you
better
ask-
on Jalen Brunson than Dennis Schroeder was.
I think if you ask Jalen Brunson who would he rather have defending him on a clutch situation, a rookie or a vet, he's gonna take the rookie no matter how talented that rookie is every single time.
I don't think so.
But it's
The
not.
moment,
I'm not
the
saying-
moment's too big. The moment's
I
too
don't
big.
think so.
I'm not.
I
I'm
think
not
if the
talking.
option is Rudy Gobert versus Asar Thompson, he's taking Rudy Gobert.
That's a fact.
He's gonna smoke Rudy. He's
That,
gonna
Cairo,
smoke
if you disagree,
many people
everything you
have.
say about
That's
Rudy
the thing.
Gobert goes out the window, and we bring back the accountability test right now. If you disagree,
I would agree.
Yeah, it's a
okay, all
okay.
right.
There you go.
I'm still gonna stand on context. It determines greatness. You're not gonna tell me a first round game winner is a greater shot than a Western Conference Finals
I think
series
that's
winner.
fair.
Mind you,
I think
series winner.
You gotta.
I mean, that was also a series winner.
Sure,
They're
in the
both
first round, it's the first round. So,
You know
so
what
for
my
you to
problem-
Here's why
gas,
it matters. Here's why it matters.
you-
Because
Go ahead.
I listened to the last week and a half of all these NBA pundits, all
He
these
is the best
allegedly
player.
smart people, all these Instagram.
oh, here
comments
comes
and all
the
this stuff.
woe is me. No one believes in us.
No,
Knicks
it's not
fans.
woe is me. It's not woe is me.
No, everyone disrespects us.
I've
No one
even
thinks we're
heard Knicks.
good.
No, forget that. I even heard Knicks
Well, you be
fans
talking
telling
about
me.
Lakers hate for clicks and all of that.
It's
That's
New
what I'm
York
saying.
versus the world. Oh no!
No, I'm not saying all that. I'm
is.
telling you, I've heard an overwhelming amount of negativity saying, "Oh, it's the fluke. Oh, it's the Knicks. They're not going to worry about. This is going to get them out of here."
Mad
We beat
people have
them
had the
the
Knicks
first
as
game.
favorites in
No.
the East all year.
Not in the
All
media.
year.
Not
We
in the
beat them
media.
the first game, and the freaking
Yes, in the media.
ESPN said, "Oh,
Not
you
around the
stole a
playoffs.
game. You stole
Are
a
you
game when we're
joking?
the favorites in the series. That doesn't make any sense. I've
I've
I'm
heard Kate
tired of
Cunningham was
people.
the best player
I'm
in the
tired of
series.
people talking about, oh, they were in
Who
this,
said
they were in that.
Now I want receipts because y'all are gassing it. Who said that, bro?
Chris Broussard.
ESPN.
I think
ESPN
Shaq
is big
did.
on ESPN.
Mad people on
Every game.
ESPN. You're
Inside
not
the
in
NBA
tune.
was saying
As a
it.
New Yorker, you're not in tune to the Knicks. That's your
I'm
problem.
not delusional, and I'm not searching for hate.
We're
You're
not
not
searching
searching
for it.
I'm not
It's
searching for it
finding
either.
us. It's finding us.
You just don't care. You were paying attention to the wrong team, the Lakers.
I'm paying
That's
attention to
the
the New York
problem.
Liberty. It's preseason.
Ah,
We're in the playoffs. Now's not
I'm
the
ready.
time.
Yeah, y'all trying to
That's
get a
not the
chip.
time to talk about the Liberty.
I'm gearing up to defend a chip. Talk to me nice. Fuck is you talking
We're
about?
gearing up to
Gearing
win a
up.
shit.
Challenging my New Yorkness.
You talking about preseason.
Challenging my New Yorkness, bro.
You
You gonna be in an arena on ring night?
Yes.
Didn't think
Yeah,
so.
why not?
Didn't
Actually,
think so.
fast breaks, we should
Didn't
be
think
there.
so. Didn't think so.
Who said didn't think so? You got tickets,
Didn't
right?
think
I guess
so.
we there.
Nah, my section for real ones only. Who've been there since 2019.
Man, we can go. We can go.
Nobody respects your
Buy your
allegiance to
own ticket.
Liberty and not
Buy
allegiance
your
to
own
the Knicks
ticket.
as a
Buy
New
your
Yorker.
Buy your own
ticket.
Nobody cares. Nobody
I wasn't-
cares. You're not.
I wasn't
proving nothing.
outside. Y'all wasn't outside
You
after
not
winning a
pro-
chip. Y'all wasn't on the avenue.
We don't care. It's the Knicks run New York City.
Yeah,
The Liberty are up there, but the Knicks are New York
The
City.
non-chip having Knicks.
The Knicks are the only team that
Knicks
unite
have
the
a
before
city
the
like that.
Yankees.
The Knicks have a
Before
chip.
the Yankees
The
and
Yan-
before the Liberty, you're out.
You got a whole borough that
The Knicks
don't
have a
support the
chip. They have two
Yankees.
chips, actually.
You got a whole borough that don't support the Yankees. The Knicks unite. The Knicks are the heart and soul of New York City, and you
The
don't support them.
chipless
You should be ashamed of yourself.
The
Did you have
chipless
Starburys?
Knicks. The chipless Knicks. I had and ones.
We have chips. Knicks have chips.
I had and ones. Talk to me very nice. Talk to me very nice with the baggy shorts and the
You were
headband.
$15 though.
The and ones I got did, and I had the Al Harringtons, real ones.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah. You gonna challenge my New York car? Are you dumb?
Go back.
Are you dumb? Bro, my family from Coney Island, bro. Watch your mouth out here.
And you're
bro.
not a Knicks fan?
Watch your mouth, bro. I got
Wait,
Lincoln
I thought
High
your
School
family was
in
from
my
Toronto.
blood,
Hold
bro.
on.
And you're not a Knicks fan?
I thought your family was from Toronto.
Sure, bro.
Wait, what you
I
say?
got multiple rail splitters. I got
thought your
multiple
family
rail
was from
splitters in
Toronto.
my
Hold on.
family, bro. What are y'all talking to me
I
about?
Oh,
thought
you
you
out
told
there?
me your family's from Toronto.
When my mom was pregnant with me, she said her cravings took her to Nathan's on the island, bro. That was me, bro. I wanted the glizzy from Nathan's on Coney Island on the boardwalk. Y'all trying to tell me I'm not New York.
Pause.
Watch your
And
mouth.
you're not
on
a
this-
Knicks fan?
Watch
Pause.
your mouths on this podcast, bro.
How did you feel when you saw that Jalen Brunson shot?
It was a phenomenal shot.
That's
It
what
How did
wasn't.
you feel?
I didn't feel better than when Sabrina hit that shot in Minnesota in Game 3. I'll tell you that.
That's fair.
I didn't tell you that from half
That's fair.
court with
That's
a hand in her face
So
in
let
the
me ask you
finals.
Let me ask you
That's a
this.
good.
Let me
That's a
ask you
good.
this.
That's a good excuse.
Let me
That's a
ask
good
you this.
deflection.
Hold on, wait.
Where were
Let
you?
me
Where
ask
were
you
you?
this.
Were you
Let me ask
watching?
Let me ask you
Yes,
this.
I
Can I ask you
actually
something?
was watching.
Were you
And I
Can I
watched
ask you
watching?
both. I watched
Can I ask
both,
you
but I was
something?
happy
Can I
to
ask you
see
Were you
something?
both.
hype? Were you
Can I
hype?
ask you something?
Did you
I was
break
hyped for
something in
both.
your house?
Girl,
I
Did
was
you
can I
hyped
break
for
ask you
something in
both.
your
But
house?
I know the Knicks run this city, and the Knicks winning the
Yeah.
chip is a
Oh.
different thing. So I was
Oh, can I
happy.
ask him
Oh,
something?
that
Can I ask
was
him something?
crazy.
Go
Can I
ahead.
ask
Go
him
ahead.
something? Let me ask, let me ask,
Go
let me ask.
ahead.
So what you gonna do when we pack up Boston in 6? What you gonna do?
I'm gonna celebrate Boston K. What you talking about?
See, that's you're gonna celebrate Boston K, but not the Knicks win. You're a hater. You're a hater. This is crazy.
What does it matter to you? Why does that matter to you? It's Boston
Because
K,
you're from
right?
New York.
Are we not comrades in this series? Is it not
Are
Boston
we?
K?
Are
Is
we?
it not,
I
is it not
wish-
Boston K? Is it not Boston K?
Yo,
Is
I
it
wish
not?
I wish I could say I want to see Knicks and Lakers to see
Answer-
Powell's reaction, but we can't
Answer
do
the
it
question.
because
Is it
they're
not
out of here.
Boston K? Is it not Boston
Because
K?
Rudy Gobert got them out of here.
Answer the question.
Okay,
Is it
that's
is
Rudy
it not
Gobert.
Boston
That's
K right
course
now?
it is.
Revenge from
Of course
last
it
year.
is.
by the
Okay,
way.
so leave me alone. It's Boston K.
Nah, because we have a future past the Celtics.
Well, y'all better do that then, because I don't want to see the Celtics again. So now I'm on y'all. Y'all better get it done.
That's a fact.
Y'all
That's a
better
fact.
get it done. Get them out of here,
That's
bro.
actually a
Don't
If
worry
the
fact.
about
Lakers
us.
ain't winning the chip, y'all better not let the Celtics do it. Get them out of here, bro.
That's a fact. We got you. Let's talk about. Let's do a little preview.
Mm.
The Celtics.
Wait, we have other series that are still going.
I don't care about none of them.
Hold on. We have 2 Game 7s in the first round coming up. We're not skipping that to talk about the next man series, bro.
I wanted to talk about those last though.
Yeah, it's a fact.
No, we're not talking about future before we talk about what's going on right now.
Okay, all right.
That make no sense.
All right, let's talk. Draymond Green is whack.
Hey, man, tell me.
He
about
won game 5 for them. So how he whack?
Draymond Green is whack. Number 1. Number 2.
Nah, explain what you mean by that though. What do you mean by that?
The problem with the Warriors is that Draymond Green doesn't want to score and he's not a threat. So if they could throw zone at them, they could double Steph Curry. Draymond Green is out there looking for other people to pass to, like he's still playing with KD and Clay.
It's his
Answer.
role.
And no, so he got to change. He got to go back to what his role was when they won their first chip.
Name a player who, as they aged, became more of a scorer.
I'll tell you this.
Can you
There
name
are-
one?
No, but I'll tell you, there are players that became better shooters, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to shoot.
If you can't name a player who's done what you're asking him to do, you don't think that's unfair?
I need him to shoot.
You don't think that's unfair?
To ask him to shoot,
You said he needs to become a threat and a scorer.
well, he needs to be a shooter then. And if he makes a shot, he's gonna score. That's what I meant. Specifically shooter.
There's no reason that Draymond can't hit a corner 3. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Or top of the key backpack 3 like he used to.
There's no reason.
Backpack 3.
There's no
Yeah.
reason
Take the backpack off.
No, like if you
Ron,
want
Ron Artest, wait, hold on. Can I just erase Nomad, you're categorically wrong. Ron Artest started his career as a scorer. He was one of the best two-way players in the league. He was religiously an all-star. So to think that he became more of a scorer late in his career shows that you started watching basketball in 2011.
we say more of a scorer because low key LeBron became more of a scorer in the sense that he diversified. Hold on, wait, let me finish my point. He diversified how he scored at a better clip. Not that he scored more points. So that's why I'm saying we got to define our terms.
28 points for his entire career. What are you talking to me about right now?
I'm saying he became more of a scorer because he could score in more ways. He averaged at 28. A lot of them
in 2006, he scored 25 points by himself in the fourth quarter against Detroit Pistons. And you telling me he became more of a scorer later in his career? No. What are you talking to me about right now?
If you clean your ears and you listen, you'll get the full point. I'm asking you a question. Because I'm saying, are we saying he became more of a scorer by volume, or they became more of a scorer by adding different weapons? Because by that standard, LeBron became more of a scorer by adding different weapons, by weaponizing that three-point shot at a better clip. He shoots that way better now than he ever did before. So if that's what Paul's talking about, that Draymond needs to add another weapon and be able to do something more offensive. Okay, so
I used the wrong word.
Stop it. Paul, real quick. No. Steve?
No. It's my fault. It's my fault. I used the wrong word.
I'm just asking a question.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, I used the wrong word, though. Score is it's shooter. He needs to be
I can agree with that.
Which we've seen players over time become better shooters.
Sure, Jason Kidd. Sure.
Mad players.
Sure.
LeBron.
Sure.
So the fact that he had a shot and lost it shows to me. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but it shows to me a lack of work ethic in the offseason.
It's not crazy.
So how do you lose your shot?
It's not crazy.
How do you lose your shot?
Because lack of repetition. Because as a player, and you're a professional, right? You're no longer a child just trying to develop your whole game. If you're a professional and you're in a winning situation, you work in the offseason on what your role is and to be efficient at your role, right? If I'm Kyle Korver, I'm not wasting an offseason trying to develop a step back jumper. What am I doing that for? My role, my contribution to success of my team is to me to be a catch and shoot guy. So in the offseason, that's what I'm working on. Draymond's role, the whole dynasty has been what? So why would it have behooved him to be trying to develop to become some sort of elite shooter if his role was never to take jump shots on his team?
Okay, I understand that, but the problem is that number one, that dynasty be done for years. Number one, number two,
he won 3 years ago.
Wait. He had a skill. And he lost it. It's not like you shouldn't be losing your shooting for the past 3 years. You're telling me that he looked at the roster and didn't think maybe I should get my shot back. That's crazy.
No, I agree with Paul.
No, because I think if anything, the Warriors have shown is that they're not going to sit idly by with the whack roster, and that's also got proven this year when they went and got Jimmy Butler. I would never
still need him to shoot with Jimmy Butler there.
But here's the thing: if I'm looking at it right, if I'm Draymond, I don't think I don't even think the front office would think, okay, we got less talent, let's just transform Draymond. No, we got to get more talent. Buddy Hield was supposed to be better than this.
No, I get you, but at the same time, it's not like he didn't have the skill. He had the skill.
If I'm Draymond, it's like go get more shooters.
That's crazy.
Don't come to me in year 14 when you turn me into this. Let's remember, Draymond didn't decide to become this. Draymond was a high draft pick out of Michigan State where he was a score first player. The Warriors turned him into this. So they didn't. Not to this level. They didn't turn him into a player that couldn't shoot the ball. Come on, you know that's not true. They turned him into a role player. They turned him into a playmaker and a defender. But they didn't tell him to not shoot. I'm not buying that. I think he didn't want to shoot. I think that's why he went for KD. Because he was like, I don't feel like having this responsibility. He's been on several podcasts where he talks about this.
They told him not to shoot the ball?
He's been on several podcasts where he talks about this. He said, my NBA career, I was a tweener. So he said the role that I had to develop, they gave me, I had to become great at to survive. If he tried to be a score first, even an offensive threat, his career would not have panned out. He's a 6'7" power forward.
He could have at any point in his career just taken an open jump shot and it wouldn't have affected anything. He's taking it too far. He took it too far.
Correct.
Nobody told him he didn't have to.
I'm not telling you. I'm not saying he needs to become like a top, top shooter in this league. But I'm saying if he can hit 2 corner threes a game, that puts the Warriors at a much better position.
I've seen him do that all the time this season.
But it's not all the time because he's averaging like 7 points a game.
Thank you. Passing the ball to Stan.
Not this year.
Paul's not going to agree with that because Paul doesn't believe in differential offense.
Hold on. They pass the ball to him in against the Rockets and they're double teaming him. They're closing out on him. He passes back to Draymond and Draymond's doing nothing, allowing the defense to reset. Passing the ball. What did you remember Oscar Robertson said?
Not that bad anymore.
Remember what Oscar Robertson said? He made a good point.
The roster kind of sucks.
Their roster sucks.
The roster does suck. But my one thing, I'm not saying I agree with Paul, but the only thing I would say, like don't make it like 4 against 5 out there, and that's the only thing. So
that's what he's doing.
It kind of leads to like what Paul is saying, but like don't make it 4 against 5, and that's tough when Steph is getting doubled and you gotta pass it right back to him either way.
And the Rockets
I know this is what Draymond would say. Draymond would say, I've won 4 times doing that, so the problem can't be me. Y'all can't try to turn me into the talent that we don't have. My role is my role, and it works when we have the requisite amount of talent. Just because we don't have the requisite amount of talent, you can't now put it on me to try to fill that gap when you've never asked me to do that before. They need more talent. They need more talent.
That's why
under the second apron, they got as much talent as they can get. They got to work with what they got.
Not true.
True.
We're forgetting the key missteps they've made because they were perfectly fine in terms of the salary cap with the talent they had, and they made mistakes.
Are we talking about not signing Clay?
One of them you could say is Draymond's fault with Jordan Poole, but I would say that Jordan Poole, even after the teammate chemistry issue, found himself somehow in the doghouse of Steve Kerr, which there's another player with talent on the roster That's true. Somehow in the doghouse of Steve Kerr. So don't bring the smoke to Draymond when the Warriors have pissed away some talent. They ruined James Wiseman, a number 1 overall pick. They gave Jordan Poole all that money just to trade him a year later. They didn't re-sign Clay. Look, they did. Come on now.
No, you're right.
Don't put this on Draymond. Don't put this on him, man.
But the fact of the matter is he's there. He had the ability to shoot. He no longer could shoot. It's hurting the team. And if he has a mentality of get more talent, I won 4 chips. I helped you win 4 chips when we had more. That's a whack mentality.
Wow, but that's real. That's the NBA today. You can't win without talent. Look at the Celtics roster.
But that's to imply that he alone didn't have the talent.
But what I'm saying is
to make them real contenders.
Look at the talent that is on the rosters of teams that are winning in the modern NBA, bro. Like it's a non-starter. It's a non-starting conversation.
Wait. You're telling me, okay, here's the thing, right? If Draymond Green was able to hit an open 3 consistently, right? That would open up the offense so much more for Steph, for Buddy Hield, for
okay, but what you're doing is playing fantasy basketball. I could take a player that is an important role player on every team and say if they were this kind of player, this team would be a winning team.
Fair.
So it's a nothing argument. If Jackson Hayes was an all-star caliber center, we wouldn't have chipped this year. Sure. I can't realistically go to Jackson Hayes and be like, hey, bro, this year just become an all-star center. It's ridiculous.
But why can't you realistically go to a man that's could shoot the ball at one point and say shoot the ball next year?
Here's the thing. I don't know that Draymond's actually lost the ability.
When you're older, you're supposed to be able to shoot better.
But I'm talking about roll, bro. I'm talking about roll.
I'm just saying.
The past 3 years,
it may not be.
No, they needed to get players who can shoot.
To your point, it may not be Draymond's fault, but if someone on that roster or on that team needs to be blamed, and if it's not going to be him, it's going to be Coach Kerr, who needs to go tell him you can go shoot that shot.
I put it on. Listen, first of all, let's remember they had a management change, but it's not Bob Myers up there anymore.
Team sport.
That's true.
We gotta talk about that. It's not Bob Myers up there anymore, and we've seen the decisions that have fallen out ever since he left. Let's talk about it. He got that last chip and said, I'm riding out on this high and I'm done. Ever since then, their roster construction has been shaky. We've all acknowledged that Steve Kerr has looked shaky. in his decision making, not even just with the Warriors, in the Olympics, his decision making looked shaky.
You know how I feel about Steve Kerr.
Right. So before we start talking about players becoming something they haven't been their whole career,
Nobody did that.
you're asking that of Draymond right now to
No,
become
I'm
something
not.
he's never been.
I literally said he used to be able. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Listen,
Shaky Warrior. Facts.
Listen. He was a capable 3-point shooter at one point for years on the Warriors. You're not asking him to be something he's never done. Wide open shots. That's it. You're not asking much. Just hit a wide open shot. We're not asking much.
What percentages was he shooting during those years?
High 30s.
It was not high 30s.
Yes,
no.
it was.
I'm gonna pull up his 3-point percentages in his career because we're not.
I remember looking at this.
We're not gonna do. Do you know what high 30s is in the NBA? That's above average. Do you know the average in the NBA is like 33-34%?
Okay. He wasn't above average. He was a very capable.
No, he was not. No, he was not.
People forget.
You are being blinded by the rare, really good shooting games that he had in big moments in the playoffs. It happened a couple times, and everyone was like, "Oh, Draymond can shoot." No, he had some good games. Like,
no,
he was.
I remember watching almost.
I'm gonna take the glass off so I can read this.
All right.
He had 1 year where he shot high 30s. A 3-point percentage.
What year?
2015.
Yep.
His career 3-point percentages. His career 3-point percentages: 20.9, 33.3, 33.7. The aberration in 15-16 where he was 38.8. Then he was 30.8, 30.1, 28.5, 27.9, 27, 29.6. The year they won, 30.5. The year after that was his highest ever, which was last year, 39.5. And this year he's 32.5. He's right on his career average this year. So this idea that there's been some sort of miraculous drop-off, he actually was shooting worse later in his career. If you want to say he should get better, his percentages have gone up later in his career. So what are we talking about?
Well, no, you said 2015. He was at 38.
Yeah, but last year he was at 39.5.
Right. So he is getting better. But what I was saying was the first big Warriors year, which was 2015. I said that and everybody talked over me. I said when they went on that first year run, he could shoot the ball. And now they need it again.
Also, I want to disabuse you of the notion of attempts that he's not shooting. He's shooting the most threes this year since 2017.
How many threes is he shooting?
3.6.
Oh, so he's just not making them?
He's at his average.
So
That's what I'm saying. Y'all are gassing it. He's at his average. He's making 1.2 of 3.6 attempts. Do you want me to go through the past years? The past years, he was 0.9 of 2.3, 0.5 of 1.8, 0.3 of 1.2, 0.5 of 2.0, 0.8 of 3.0. He's having one of his better shooting years of his career, and y'all are saying this.
That's gassing it. Pharaoh, hold on. Wait a second. Last year, he shot 39%.
I'm saying he needs more than 3 attempts.
So, no, you're gassing it. Better shooting years.
Yes, but look, we could look. He shot 39.5% on less attempts and less makes. He made 1 out of every 2 threes.
Because they had Clay last year. He didn't need to make as many attempts. I'm saying the point
he's making more and taking more this year, which is against both of your arguments. He's making more.
How can he be making more if he has how can he be making more if he has a lower percentage?
Because he's taking more. You understand how that works, right?
Yeah, no, I got you. You said how many was he taking last year?
One of two is 50%.
Right.
But 3 of 7 is like 35%. I'm making more threes even though I have a less percentage because I'm taking more.
Is that what's happening this year?
I just read it to you, bro. Last year he was 39.5, but he made 0.9 threes and took 2.3. So this year he's 32.5, but he's making 1.2 and taking 3.6.
So let me tell you something. Let me say this.
He's taking more and making more.
Let me tell you something, Farrell, right? You're talking about his career and this for the most of his career, right? Because this podcast has existed for a minute now, right?
Sure.
For most of his career. I have said the same thing. So throughout his career,
the record doesn't support what you're saying.
He has not prioritized 3-point shooting enough. And when they got Kevin Durant, I think he got lazy. That's why there was a big drop off in shooting the year they got Kevin Durant. And since that point, he has not wanted to assume more responsibility for making wide open jump shots.
But it's never been the problem. That's what I'm trying to point out.
That's
It's
what
never
you're
been,
saying. I'm saying
they've
literally
won 4
rearing its ugly
times.
head.
They've won.
They won when they shouldn't have. They won. He won with a team that shouldn't have existed. Like, what are we talking about?
That's only half of their chips. We can't ignore 15 and we can't ignore 22. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop acting like they didn't win without Kevin Durant. They won twice without him, and Draymond played the same way in those
15, 15, he was a better shooter.
You want to stand on that?
What was his
Do you want to
percentage?
stand on that? 2014, 2015, he was 33.7.
2015, 2016 is what we're talking about.
No, because
No.
that was the year LeBron came back on them. So
No.
you're wrong.
No,
I'm talking about the years they won.
Yep.
2014, 2015, it was 33.7.
That's better. That is better.
Then what? Then what?
The 32, the 29.
Sure.
Like I think the thing
You want to
is,
go to
I
the
think-
22 year? You want to go to the 22 year when they won?
Go ahead.
He was 29.6.
Don't people and the Celtics choked that year too. So I mean, you could call
Come on,
it what
man.
you could say what you want to say. You could say
Come
what
on,
you
man.
want to say.
They won a
That-
chip in a year where he made 0.3 threes a game. Like, and y'all telling me he's the problem. Come on now, man. Can we talk about the other aspects of the series that actually are important? It's not Draymond being whack. So what I told y'all, I said the only way that the Rockets would have any chance in the series, again, accountability test, y'all was telling me the Rockets could score. None of those players you're talking about are the reason why they are going to a Game 7. Who's the player that's the reason why they're going to a Game 7?
Steven Adams.
Fred Van Fleet.
The player, the only player on the roster that I said I could trust. He started showing up and they started winning games. Should we pull up the box score? Let's pull up the box score.
Wait. No.
score.
I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying about Fred Van Vliet, but there would be no Fred Van Vliet if it wasn't for Steven Adams and Sengun. No, the rebounding has played a huge role.
Are they making shots for him?
fact.
Are they making shots for him? We had a debate.
opportunities.
We had a debate about scoring. Y'all said the Warriors aren't going to be able to score enough. I said, who on the Rockets is scoring? And I said the only player that could score for them consistently, who's playoff proven, that's going to give them a shot in this series is Fred VanVleet. And that's exactly what happened.
But that's not entirely true because Şengün's also been showing up a lot.
More than Fred?
I didn't say more than Fred, but I'm
Okay,
saying he's
then.
also been-
So
you
who's
said
the difference?
You
Who's
said
the
only
difference?
player- Honestly, Şengün
I can't
might be
ignore
the
Steven
difference.
Adams,
He's
man. I'm
also
sorry.
getting the boards for them.
I can't ignore Steven Adams, man. He is.
That's a fact. Steven Adams also had 17 and 5. Come on. We can't act like he's not doing nothing.
The fact that they could get so many
I didn't say he's
offensive
not doing
rebounds.
anything. I said, who's the difference?
No,
I
but
didn't say
like
it's purely
Who's giving
Fred
them?
Van-
Who's the one giving them a chance?
Steve, you can't.
all of them.
If Steven Adams
All of
is.
them. All the
Wait,
guys.
wait,
you
wait,
just
wait,
mentioned.
wait. Say that again, Andre.
He said, "Who's making a difference?" I said, "All them guys we just mentioned."
No.
Şengün,
I said, who's
Steven
making
Adams, and
the
Fred
difference?
VanVleet.
I said, who's making the difference? Who's the one
There isn't
giving
just
them a
one guy
chance?
making
You can't
the
name
difference.
one guy with a team like
You
the
can't do
Rockets.
that. Listen, I'll give you
Box
four
score
guys.
disagrees with you. The
I'll
box
give
score
you four.
disagrees with you.
That's not true. I'll give you four guys, right? Of course, Fred VanVleet. But I'm putting in Steven Adams. I'm putting in Sengun, and I'm putting in Jabari Smith Jr. because he's been able to space the floor for them. I didn't think he was going to do that. And you got to give some love to Amen Thompson. I watched that game last night, man. Amen Thompson is getting he's the biggest reason that Stephen Curry was even in foul trouble.
Hold on.
Like
You're
they
all
are
right.
showing
Hold on.
you why
You're
they
all
are.
right.
a
Hold on.
second seed.
You're all right about what you're saying, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that the way Fred, those players were playing similarly in the beginning of the series, but Fred was not playing like this, right? And they were losing. Whose play has changed?
No, you're right. To that point, you're right.
True.
That's what I'm saying. When I was saying the Rockets don't have enough to beat this team, I was saying those players were doing what they do outside of Jalen Green's aberration of the 39 points. Amen was playing good. Ahmed was playing good. Şengün was playing good. Steven Adams was doing what to do, and it wasn't enough. Who started playing differently that made it enough? That's all that I was saying, and that's what played out. I said, if Fred VanVleet doesn't turn it on, they will not have enough. They can have all that y'all just said, which is absolutely right, which is why they were a good team. They were second in the West. I'm not trying to say they're a bad team. I'm saying in the playoffs against a team like this, I can't trust any of those guys to take it to another level to give them a chance except for one guy.
No, you're right.
And even Draymond said it. Draymond last night after the game said, "Hey, Fred VanVleet is the reason we lost in 2019."
Draymond has to
wanna
say it.
hear
And you know
nothing
why
but-
Draymond
you
has
know
to
what
say
niggas
it?
don't stop,
You know
man.
why Draymond has to say it? Because the actual answer of why all this is happening, he's not allowed to say. And the answer is, and I said this before, the minute Jonathan Kuminga was in the game, they won. They need another rebounder. You cannot have a 6'6" Draymond going against Jabari Smith, Steven Adams, and Şengün. It's
So
not
those are
gonna
our conclusions on this series, right? Steve Kerr his stubbornness is tanking them.
It's going to lose them the series if he doesn't.
and the fact that they've allowed Fred VanVleet to find himself again is, I mean, that's the scariest version of this Rockets, right? That was the whole idea when they signed Fred VanVleet. Is remember when I said you got to put a veteran, you don't trade the young guy, and accountability. I've said this model so many times on this podcast about what you're supposed to do with young talent. You add a playoff proven veteran to bolster them, and then you get it done. And that was the idea with this Rockets team. These young guys are good, but when it gets to the playoffs, you need that proven veteran to bolster them. And that's exactly what we're watching play out. The Warriors have allowed Fred VanVleet to find himself, and now you got a dangerous team. Now you got a veteran who's in rhythm and young guys who any of them could have a good game, and it could go bad for you.
I will say that you could say that's the reason why they won that game.
The last two games they've won has been because of that.
But the reason why they dominated like this that last game, I think it's because, and Doris Burke pointed it out during the game, man, Thompson has figured out that if he just drives on everybody, he's gonna have a good. He's playing like Jalen Green should. He's gonna impact the offense in ways that he didn't even think he could this year. So they allowed Amen Thompson to figure it out as well, and that's why they blew them out. I knew the whole from tip that the Warriors weren't gonna win that game.
White
Bucks.
Oh.
But Jalen Green, we got to talk about him. He's been making so many bad decisions to me, man.
It's his first time, guys.
It is, bro.
It's his third year in the league, bro. He's 21, bro. Like, come on.
What? Okay, but look at him and Cade. I don't know if y'all like.
He's not as good as Cade. He's never been as good as Cade, and Cade reminds him of that every time they play.
I know, but that's my point. Like I'm saying, so it doesn't have.
That's why Cade was a top pick, and Jalen Green was a middle of the first round pick.
Jalen Green was like third pick.
I know, but Cade was higher.
But that's my point. Like him and Cade have been rivals since going back to high school. And
he's not as good as Cade, though.
But that's my point. So why are you bringing up this his first time in the playoffs, etc.?
Because what standard are y'all holding him to?
The standard of himself.
He's a good player. I don't know, but what I'm saying is not even bad. Like you're right, it's his first playoff, but that don't mean that.
I didn't have a ton of expectations. No, but I'm saying I didn't have a ton of expectations for Jalen Green. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, hold on. Where did Amen Thompson get drafted?
It was like 6 or something.
So that was lower than Jalen Green was. He's playing better than Jalen Green.
He's at a different role.
He's playing better than Jalen Green. He's making better decisions.
He has a different role.
That's not why he's doing it.
His usage is way. I'm just saying his usage is way. What Amen has to figure out for what his current role on his team, he has a simpler puzzle to put together than Jalen Green does. We're not going to sit here and act like being the star point guard for your team isn't quite a puzzle to figure out how to be good at as a young player.
But I think his role has changed.
Amen just has to defend and be a slasher. I'm not taking any credit away from him, though. He has when he sits down with the development team and the assistant coaches on what he has to do, his bullet point list of what he has to do to be effective in his role for this team in this current moment, it's a shorter list than Jalen Green's. Jalen Green has a lot to figure out to be a star point guard for his team.
See, I agree with you, but at the same time, that I'm not gonna make a solid point on this, but like a definitive point on this. But it's a very hard issue because right now, Fred VanVleet is being the star, and Jalen Green can literally
knows how to do it. Because he knows how to do it.
But Jalen Green can literally just play like Amen, and he'll have more productivity. But for his future, it's not going to help because he needs to figure these things out.
Which is what I said to you last time.
Hold the team.
The Rockets are left. No, yes, but even Ime Udoka came out with a comment and agree with what I was saying. Right? You got to let them go through their growing pains. His experience being bad is what's going to make him good in the future. He has to go through this. They're not on some accelerated timeline where it's like, oh, they're championship bound this year. He's got to just figure out a new role so that they can be productive. No, if they want a future, this is necessary. This is it's a necessary part of the process. And you got Fred VanVleet there to be the anchor that they might go on a run while he's figuring it out. And he can watch Fred VanVleet and watch how to go.
If they beat the Warriors game 7, who are they playing?
Playing Minnesota.
Right? Yeah.
I think that he's gonna have. That's crazy. You're gonna have the Rockets, and that's crazy. But the Rockets and the Timberwolves in the second round. That's crazy. I'm
never taking anyone over Steph Curry in a game 7. You lost your mind. Let's prediction at this point. There's no way I'm taking the Rockets over Steph Curry.
They're not going to allow Stephen Curry to win the game.
I've heard that before.
Okay. All right.
Have we not heard that before?
We have, but it's working this time. So all I'm going to say though is that they're going to need Jalen Green to play better against the Timberwolves. That's all I'm going to say. If they play the Timberwolves, if they're not out.
Sure. I mean, I'm never picking. I could listen. I'm ready to be wrong, but I'm not ready to be wrong the other way. I'm never picking against Steph Curry in a game 7. If I had to put money on it, I'm never doing that.
You making predictions? Because I'll tell you right now, I got
Steph Curry.
I got
that's my prediction.
They're number 2 for a reason.
I'm betting on the Warriors. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm betting on I'm betting on Wardell Stephen Curry Jr. is what I'm betting on.
It wouldn't be the first time they gave up a 3-1 lead.
He's the god of war in the city. Kratos. Anyway, because everyone just stopped talking.
Clippers and Nuggets. I was wrong.
This has actually been the most exciting.
I was wrong. Accountability. I was wrong. I was wrong. I hate Jamal Murray. He's the most inconsistent star that we've seen, and he decided to show up for a night and do the Nuggets like he did D'Angelo Russell, and they got another one. Congratulations. And the Clippers snuck one out last night, and now we got it, or 2 nights ago, and now we got a game 7. I don't know. I think it's a pick 'em at this point. It depends on who shows up that night. If Jamal Murray shows up, it's the Nuggets. If he doesn't, and Norman Powell shoots well, it's gonna be the Clippers. If James Harden has a vintage night, even if Jamal Murray does show up, it's gonna be the Clippers. Don't let James Harden have a 30, 32 point, 33 point triple double kind of night.
I'm not picking against Jokic.
We just watched him lose a game 7. We just watched him lose a game 7 last year.
No.
I'm not saying to disagree with you. I'm just saying. Like,
I know.
I don't know if the Jokic card in a game 7 is like that.
No. He doesn't have that card. I'm saying this iteration of Jokic is the best Jokic we've seen. This is one of the best players in NBA history that we're watching.
Of course.
I think if they need him to get 50, he will get 50 this time. If they need him to just distribute, he'll do it. I think I'm not going against Jokic, right?
I can't go on the same card. I can't go against Kawhi Leonard in any game 7 ever. This guy is one of the greatest clutch players we've ever seen.
That's a fact.
Yeah, but he's not going to be the difference though. He does him. Like the way this series is, the matchup, like it's going to be the other. Jokic and
I agree with you.
They're going to cancel each other out. It's
I don't know
who shows up other than that.
I don't know, because the thing is, Kawhi is he's going to be put his back against the wall, and he's going to embarrass. Kawhi in his bag is embarrassing legends, embarrassing guys that are having statistically.
I don't think it's embarrassing though, because he's one of them. So like, I will never say that one of those beating the other one is embarrassing.
It's the fashion he does it.
Yeah, but it's not embarrassing to like Kawhi Leonard's no chump. There's nothing embarrassing about losing to Kawhi Leonard.
That's fair too. It's respectful to lose to him. It is respect, but the way he does it in such a wild fashion, he just puts people down. That's what he does, though. That's what I'm saying. Him being him is he will put them down. So I can't say like go. It's really a pick 'em, like you said. I don't know.
It's who shows up. It's literally who shows up that game. I want to look at the box scores to see what story they tell in terms of the wins and losses. So obviously the Clippers get the win last game. Who showed up? Jamal Murray 21, but on 9 and 19, not great. Russell Westbrook missing layups in the clutch once again.
Yeah.
Jokic
Now stop.
Jokic only 25. Jokic only 25, 7 and 8. He only shot 22 times. Murray shoots 19 times and goes 9 and 19. Now that's almost 50%, so it's decent. But he goes 2 of 6 from 3. But then you get Kawhi with 27 and 10, and James Harden 28 and 6, and Norman Powell. Right? If Norman Powell shows up, 24 points, the Clippers are going to get it done.
Look
now,
who didn't show up for the Nuggets. I say this every time.
Michael Porter Jr.
You know it. You know
now,
it.
let's see when they won 131 to 115 when they smacked them. Let's see who showed up. We already know, right? It was the Jamal Murray game. He goes out for 43, and it's crazy. James Harden didn't show up. He only shot 9 times, which is insane, right?
Showed up.
Now, other guys had it going. You know, Ivica Zubac had 27. He had it going, but I think that's not the formula for that team. You know, Bogdan hit a lot of threes. Chris Dunn was hitting his threes, so James Harden tried to go into facilitator mode. But when you got a guy on the other side going off for 43, mind you, Jokic had 13 points in that game. I think the Clippers just completely miscalculated their approach to that, or you could say the defense forced James into being a facilitator, one of the two. Either way, that's not sustainable. You go back to the game before that, we know the Nuggets won on some BS.
Yep. OD, I'm not gonna count. OD.
But that also was James and Norman's Powell fault because they didn't box out.
Which most of these players do.
And another game,
and also James Harden was again in facilitator mode. He only shot 11 times. He had 15 and 11.
Listen.
Right? So it comes down to whether Norman Powell is going to shoot well and whether James is in dominant mode or facilitator mode.
I'm going to tell you this because I keep looking at it. Every game where Michael Porter Jr. scores more than 10 points, they will win. Because he spaces the floor and allows guys like Russell Westbrook not to miss layups because he has the confidence to go in and go get it. Where Aaron Gordon,
don't bail him out. Don't bail him out. That man,
fine. I'm not going to bail him out. But
that
Aaron
man missed a wide open layup.
That's fine.
Bro.
That's fine. That's fine. Aaron Gordon gets that putback because no one's worried about the box out because Michael Porter Jr. can hit that. They're not worried about that. When Michael Porter Jr. is spacing the floor and hitting shots, the Nuggets will win. That has been the formula for them for years. I don't know why teams aren't picking up.
You gotta stop taking hard shots though. Contested, like
he does, but he's
that's
6'10".
his game. That's his game. He's a J.R. Smith. Like
that's
that.
what he hits.
It's not a hard shot for
doesn't.
him. Yeah, it's like Kevin Durant. Like he don't see that contest. You know what I'm saying? Like
Kevin Durant.
I'm talking about in terms of release height.
His height, yeah.
It's not a difficult shot for him because he doesn't and he jumps. He's a 6'10" guy who has a true jump shot. So he's shooting over all of that. He doesn't have like a little set shot. That man gets in the air.
I think even with those type of guys, when you're contested, you're still thinking about the person that's like underneath.
I don't. Not when you're a pro. Not when you're a pro.
No, maybe
that,
not, yeah.
That's literally the difference between pros and amateurs. Like they train for that.
Yeah.
They train for like what we think is a contested shot for a pro is a good look.
Yeah.
It's like a wide open shot for a pro is like it's almost like jarring.
Yeah.
Like, damn, how did I get this open? And then a true contested shot for a pro is like contact being made. Like what Dylan Brooks is doing to Steph Curry. That's contesting the shot. But a closeout is nothing to a pro. To a good shooter, an elite shooter, you rotating and closing out makes
Is he an elite
difference.
shooter? Yeah, that's
Yes.
what he's on LPJ.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good shooter.
I think he's a good shooter. Elite?
What's his percentages? Do we need to go to percentages?
I don't think we have to go to percentages. I think the obvious gravity is the answer. No, I'm being so serious.
I know you are. I know.
I don't know why everyone. I literally just looked it up. Every game, no, but I'm serious. Every game this series where he scores less than 10,
he's a career 40.6% shooter.
He's
How much? 46.
40.6. 40.6.
Oh, I'm gonna say, yo, that's a face.
Yeah, that's what
I'm about to be like, yo, that might be the greatest shooter ever.
No, he's a career 40% shooter, 41% shooter. He's a great shooter. He's an elite shooter in this league.
Yeah, that's elite. 40 is elite.
Listen, I said the same thing about Tobias last year.
He also shoots 50 from the field. He really like.
Now you go to Tobias? Oh God!
No, I'm serious.
What did he say?
I said I'm looking at Tobias too. These elite swingmen are so. That's
I'm not calling Tobias
talking
Harris
about?
an elite shooter.
No, he's not an elite shooter. I'm not saying he's an elite shooter. I'm saying when he spaces the floor and does what he's supposed to do, his teams win. Those guys are of a certain caliber that they draw.
Josh Hart in there too.
I'm sorry.
Yo, but it's
Josh
looks
Hart in there
though.
too.
Yes.
With those guys though, and I can relate to this. You have to. There is when you guys that are guys that are shooters, true shooters. Like it's only in modern NBA where we think of the elite shooters as off the dribble, right? I think a lot of modern NBA offenses they'll swing a ball to a shooter and be like, get a shot, and it's like, no, I'm a shooter. Like you need to run offense to get me a shot. Otherwise, I'm taking actual tough shots off the dribble. And y'all think like that should be reserved for scorers. It's only in today's modern NBA where we think of shooters as guys that can get their own shot and knock it down. Like, no, those are scorers. It just happens that scorers are now scoring from the three. But true just shooters, you have to run offense. So Tobias Harris, that's the problem. When he's been on rosters where they've looked to him to be a scorer, he's not that good. But when he can just be a 6'8" knockdown shooter, he could be amazing. And Michael Porter's the same way. If you're not running offense for him, if you're not contriving to get him good looks, then he's gonna take 6 shots, maybe 3 threes and 2 layups. And everyone's gonna be like, where's Michael Porter Jr.? It's like that's not his game. His game is to be a shooter. Like there's a whole style of offense that is to run to get shooters shots.
Right.
So I think that's the Dre's point. Like maybe not enough of their offense is predicated on getting him looks at important times of the game.
Well, they fired their coach, so
right. That's the thing. Mike Malone would have never let this.
And that's different than being a corner catch and shoot guy waiting for a kick out, right? Because I think that's what happens. I think a lot of guys that are catch and shoot guys are being relegated to release valves instead of offense. Right, like JJ Redick was a catch and shoot guy, but the Clippers ran offense for JJ Redick. They didn't just say just go stand on the wing in the corner and then wait. But you know why that's important? Get your shooters, get your shooters in rhythm early so that they can be that wait in the corner guy.
Remember this for our 2K runs. Whoever is listening,
I didn't want to take it there, but I used to say that for years, like, yo, let me get, like run a play for me early in the game. Let me get my feel because you're gonna need me to hit a kick out in the corner late in the game. And if I've shot 2 threes all game, it's a 30-70. I missed that joint. Like
I say this,
run me off some pin downs in the first quarter. Let me get like 2 threes in the first quarter, and then I don't care if I don't touch it for the whole second quarter. I feel good already. But I didn't want to make it about me.
I'm not making. I was making it about me, actually.
I know you were. I stole your spotlight. Ta-da!
That's all right.
But yeah,
when you have elite shoot. Listen, when you have elite shooters that make differences like this, like there's no reason. You gotta get them going.
You gotta get them going.
You have literally that. You have nobody that can actually guard him because Kawhi can't guard 5 guys at the same time. It's just impossible. So you got to make a choice. You got to make a choice early. And if you get MP, and the Nuggets keep proving it. I don't know where the disconnect comes from.
It's because their 2 players are high usage ball dominant. They don't have a egalitarian offense.
That's a fact too.
It's also been sometimes he's just not aggressive too. I remember that first game, he got the ball and like just didn't shoot it.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about. What are you asking him to do when he gets the ball in triple threat? You want him to be a creator, a shot creator?
Sometimes he just didn't shoot it. Sometimes
we're talking about PJ. We're talking about Jokic.
You talking about on a good look, like they got him a good look and he just didn't pull.
Yeah, specifically in the first game, I remember that. I don't know if it was like that the games after that. But I remember specifically first game, that was a big thing that he did.
I always trust a shooter in that though, because a lot of people like you got to have the right feel, right?
It could also been a shoulder. I know he's going through the shoulder thing.
Yeah, it's also feel though, right? Like sometimes you give the ball to a guy and you expect him to be able to just comport and shoot because you got it to him. But like, one, you got to know your personnel. Is that even one of his spots? And then footwork plays into that. Like if he got bumped before he catched it, that means he's off his rhythm. Like, and sometimes the best thing for that player to do is to get off of it, especially if I'm not going to do anything with it. If I caught it and I didn't feel good on my shot mechanics, I could chuck it. I could pretend I'm a one-on-one player and try to get one off because you just gave it to me, or I could reset it and try to get some more offense going. And I think a lot of times offense is quick. Like they run that first action. If it doesn't work and you kick it out, whoever gets it thinks now, all right, it's one-on-one time. But we could run off it. That's what the Warriors did for so well. Like if Steph didn't get a look, he got off of it and they ran offense again. You know what I'm saying? They like okay, we have 24 seconds. If we get a look with 10 seconds left and it's not good, you have enough time to run some more motion to try to get another look or have counters, right? I don't think they have offensive counters for MPJ. When MPJ gets a look and it doesn't work, do they run a back screen? Do they do a give and go? Do they do a flash? They don't do anything. They're a one shot and out kind of team. And that's why I've always said they're limited. If you can get them to miss their first look and not get offensive rebounds, you can hold the Nuggets scoreless for long stretches.
Well, I still got the Nuggets just because I think Jokic is not gonna allow them. I think he's the most fit he's been in even before. Last year he was fit too, but I think he's like more fit
because he had no time off.
Facts.
He had to stay in shape. Yeah, he had to stay in shape the whole time.
Facts.
I think we're only just not, and it's surprising to me. I guess you saw it some in the regular season, but usually we see Olympic boosts for players in the regular season after. I guess you could argue Jokic has kind of had that with the numbers he's put up this year. And I would say Ants, yeah, that's my other guy. I think his 3-point shooting during the year showed that, but in terms of his overall game, I think you're only now seeing it. I think Tatum off anger, you saw it this year. Yeah. But the other guys from that team, I mean, Embiid got hurt. KD is kind of himself. LeBron was kind of himself. Booker, I don't even want to talk about Phoenix. They are wasting. I had Devin Booker as the best 2-guard in the league 3 years ago, and I just don't know what they're doing. They're messing with him. They're messing with him. No, because I think up until last year, I think it was still a pick 'em between Booker and Ant, honestly. But I think his role has been messed with so much, even going to the Olympics. Like in the Olympics, they turned him into a 3-and-D guy, and then on the Suns, they try to turn him into a point guard. Like
know what the worst part is though? I think that the Suns are going to be stubborn and try to run it back.
They shouldn't.
That's the worst part.
I think they will.
Yeah,
Devin Booker should be averaging 35 points at this point in his career.
Honestly, he
should be a score first player, attacking. He should be averaging 35 points. He should be kind of moving. No, because Shea's a point guard, but like
50, 40, 90.
Yeah, like that's who he should be. He should be able to play like Kyrie right now.
They need to look at what the Clippers did.
But bigger, yeah.
They need to look at what the Clippers did and do that. Do exactly that. Get rid of Beal.
How do you mean?
Get rid of Beal. Focus on supplementing with great role players that are gonna just be effective. Not try to take the spotlight. Get a real big man out there.
You need someone to organize, though. You need someone to organize.
It's got to be Devin.
No, but that's not him. You're ruining him by trying to turn him into the organizer. That man is an assassin.
He can't trade Beal, bro.
They can't. Yeah.
He's holding them hostage. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal. He has no trade clause.
And the thing is, he's showing up to play. So it's not like he could be like, oh, he's not showing up. He's at home. He's faking injury. Like he's here. He's like, yes. I love Rainbow.
He's not asking. He's the true definition of like, this is a job. He's like, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm getting well paid. I like living in Phoenix, and I show up and I play basketball.
Facts.
Which we know it.
Like, yeah, crazy situation.
Yeah.
As a roster over there, it's crazy.
So, Alan, who you picking? Just on Nuggets, Clippers to end that up. Who you picking?
My first year predictions, I said Clippers in 7, so I'm gonna stick with that.
Go for it.
All right.
It's very much toss up.
Yeah, I want to wrap it. So that's all we have to talk about for current, right? I want to wrap this up. I'm gonna do a very quick Laker take because
No. We talk about the Lakers. We're having a whole
I
conversation
have
about
to
the
go,
Lakers.
brother. I have to go. Y'all can have it. I don't have much to say, bro.
No, that's okay.
And
I gotta do
This
something.
is a very different type of end
You don't let him
season
get off the hook.
because look. Here's and this is gonna
I got
sound
nothing
like
more to say to
it's
them. They're
gonna
out.
sound like
They're on
cop-out.
Cancun.
It's gonna sound like cop out. My feelings coming to the offseason are very different than they have been because this is the first year in a long time where I don't feel like a year was wasted. Because I don't feel like I'm on a countdown anymore. There's things that have to be addressed, but you know, your best player joining the team halfway through the year, I don't know if anyone's ever won a chip in that scenario before. So I couldn't have realistically held. I don't think I ever was realistically thinking the Lakers are going to win the chip. I just wanted them to make a run to lock in Luka's commitment to the team. I think I don't have to worry about that. So even with the first round loss, and I'm mad we didn't have a run, my main concern was locking in Luka emotionally, and I think we've done that. So from that standpoint, I don't have a ton of anxiety around the first round loss. Was it a little embarrassing because of narrative? Sure, but on terms of on court, there's nothing embarrassing about losing to Anthony Edwards, in my opinion. So like, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Like the Rudy Gobert 2020 game, as funny as that is, and as much as like that's mud I have to eat for everything I talk about Rudy Gobert. Yeah, that sucks. Annoying. But ultimately, we lost this series because Ant is Ant, and that team had a better game plan for us, and our team didn't have the necessary talent for that matchup, and also our coaching inexperience got exposed. Those were all things that I didn't have any delusions about coming into the playoffs. I just thought that maybe the talent of LeBron and Luka could overcome that in most of these matchups, and prove that no, he's like
Is
that wasn't
Luka?
He's one of them guys. He's one
Is
of them.
Anthony Edwards better than Luka Doncic?
No, I don't think so. Because I mean, I like him more as a player because I like two-way guys. I think a lot of what Ant is trying to figure out in terms of offense and leading his team is stuff that Luka already has and has exhibited last year. I think Luka and the Kyrie experiment proves that Luka is a kind of guy you need a whole year to mold around. Because the same thing happened when Kyrie came mid-year. Like, they didn't look that good. And then I said when they made those trades last year, remember, I had picked them to make a run. So I think it's very clear what the Luka blueprint is, and our team isn't matching that. So that's all this. Also, it's kind of, it's not fun to lose, but it's kind of fun to be back in this position where we have a young player and we just got to get the right pieces and then see what happens. So that's yeah. Listen, I get it. All the out of shape narratives, all that stuff is good and well. Like, I get all that, but like, unlike other fan bases, I'm approaching this offseason with realistic. We got a guy who's 25, who's been to the finals, who's a great player. Does he have things to improve on? Yeah, but just like all the other young guys, and we don't have a roster around him for me to even evaluate him. And he came in mid-year, so like, I didn't expect to win a chip. I didn't think we'd get bounced, but we ran into a guy who's on a journey, and so I can salute that. Could there have been things we did better? Yes, but ultimately this wasn't like our shot. This is way less painful than the last 3 years where I thought like we had decent enough teams to do it if AD and LeBron showed up, and we just kept running into the worst possible matchup for those two. This, even though it was a bad matchup this year as well, I didn't feel like this team was quite set up to optimize success. So we go into next year, and I want to see what Rob does. I mean, when we had our emergency trade podcast, that's what I said. I said, Rob, you have to have a plan. He tried to get shifty with the Mark Williams trade. I like Dorian Finney-Smith. I hope we bring him back. The Mark Williams trade didn't pan out, and so from that moment, it was kind of like, all right, let's just see what we can do with this roster that was created for a different superstar, adding Luka to it. And if we're being realistic and practical, what did we do? We got a third seed. We won 50 games, and we ran into another young superstar who was better coalesced around his team and beat us up.
About AR?
No, I just found they came out today and said that he had a big toe injury on his left foot that he was supposed to sit out 2 to 4 weeks with, and he chose to play. So, and again, it'd be one thing. I know he had a really good year this year, and so this kind of playoff year felt like a debut for him as the third option. But in reality, that's not true. He's been our third option in the playoffs for the last 2 years, and he's had really great playoffs the last 2 years. So this year was actually like an outlier for him. So I'm not really worried about him.
Okay.
I've seen him play better in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with that mean instead of this outlier. Like, do I think this is his future in the playoffs? No. I think it's more likely that he returns to form. Also, he's got to get, we know what, the same thing with like Luka Kyrie. Like him and Luka got to get down how they're going to attack. A lot of our offense in the playoffs was like us putting the ball in Luka's hands and him trying to figure it out, which worked really well in the playoffs. I mean, in the regular season. Obviously, in playoff basketball, that's not good enough. And that's what I saw. I was like, this is just not the team I watched, which makes sense, right? Like, that's not how you're going to win the playoffs. Just put it in Luka's hand. We watched his whole first half of his career, Luka, do that, where they just put the ball in his hands and try to figure it out, and they didn't win. So that's how I feel. Like, I'm not panicking. I'm not in a state of disarray. It was disappointing. But now the work begins of charting this new era of Laker basketball. We have a new blueprint. We know exactly what we got to get. We got to go get a lob threat. Ideally, 2. We got to go get one other player in the Dorian Finney-Smith mold. And I would personally like to get I would like to make that player a shooting guard. I want Austin Reeves to be
Shooting guard.
sort of, yeah, we need a shooting guard. We need like
Reeves your shooting guard.
Yeah, but I don't like him as the shooting guard. He's had his best success this year when he was playing point. So I like when we offset his minutes with Luka and let those guys be the 2 guys. And that's what they did with Kyrie, right? Like they offset.
How does LeBron fit in that?
LeBron showed me that in this regular season he could be whatever player we ask him to be.
Let me know when you're done.
LeBron could be whatever. If he comes back, LeBron could be whatever player we asked him to be. And I think actually that was what was interesting about this playoffs is I think LeBron in game 1 had the approach of the player he had been since Luka got here, which was an off-ball just threat and a defensive guy. Off-ball threat, defensive guy. He was running the floor, getting a lot of touchdown passes. He was a cutter. He was playing in the post a lot. And it was working for that first 4 minutes. Luka had 16 points. It was working. AR struggles shifted the whole offensive approach because AR couldn't get going, and it wasn't just shooting. Again, AR is at his best when he's an offensive organizer and facilitator, and he's shooting and passing well. When AR couldn't get into that space, LeBron had to step in to be more on ball again, and then we saw the kind of clunkiness of the offense. So I want to get a 2 guard, an athletic 3-and-D 2 guard who can guard wings and who can be the guy that is next to Luka on most lineups with a Dorian and a Rui and a big man, and then let him and Austin offset. And Austin's got to show up as the ball handler that he was all year, and let LeBron just be a weapon. Let him be a 3-4 outlet guy, catch and shoot guy, cutter, post player, all that good stuff, pick and roll player when necessary. But that's what we need. We need 2 centers. And we need like an athletic shooting guard who can shoot and defend, like a Gary Trent or a Norman Powell, but like less talented because Norman Powell's gonna cost a lot. But someone in that mold. That's and unlike years past, I don't think it'll be that hard to get those guys. We're not asking them to come play with LeBron and AD anymore. It's to come play with Luka, a guy that it seems a lot of guys have reported like playing with and who they know they're going to get the ball from. So I'm interested to see what a Laker offseason looks like with Luka on the roster. I know it's been difficult with LeBron and AD. I think that might be different this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I have optimism. We have Luka. He's still getting better. I'm in a let's see what happens. I'm in no rush. Yes. And by he's still getting better. What I'm saying by he's still getting better is not that we're watching him get better. Is what I'm saying is there's still room for him to get better, and there's still time for us to reasonably predict that he can get better. He's
or that
20.
he won't.
Of course, he can go either way, but it's not like he's 30 and it's like the chances of him getting better are low. He's 25. So the chances of him getting better are still at the least 50-50. Right? And you're talking about a guy getting better who averaged a 30-point triple-double last year. Like, So I feel we're in a good spot. It's annoying. It is what it is, but like I'm back in long-term mode as a Laker fan, which is really nice. You know, I want us to take our time and build a team around Luca that's going to compete for years. So I want some youth, I want some athleticism, and I want to see some 2 to 3 year contracts. I'm tired of the 1 year and done. We're just gonna plug this guy in and see if we can sneak a championship out of him in AD. I like that we can move away from that model, and we're gonna we're not a young team because of LeBron, but we can finally approach an off season like a young team with a young superstar and like actually try to put together a core. And I think Austin is a part of that. Rui's still young enough that we can consider him a part of that or use him as a piece. But like, it's gonna be fun for me to watch Rob Pelinka for his first time ever try to put together a core that's gonna compete for years. And I think it's refreshing for that to be the mentality. Like, let's go build a team, not put together an amalgamation that maybe LeBron can carry over. No, let's go build a team that's gonna be together for some years where Luka is the centerpiece and try to compete. That's exciting to me. I gotta go in 5. So if y'all want to give me smoke, I'm here for it. Like it's like I said, it's not like other years where I'm defiant about it. Like, yeah, we weren't good enough this year, but I mean, you can't make me feel bad about going into an off season with Luka Doncic. Like I said before, for all the reasons I said, it's time to build a young core.
Look,
if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm shook.
Not at
you're
all.
shook.
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm shook.
Why?
Hold on, my screen's acting the blue. Yeah, no, if I'm a Lakers fan, can y'all see me?
Yeah.
No, we can hear you though.
Okay. If I'm a Lakers fan, I'm shook. And the reason for that is Nico Harrison is looking like he's on pace to be right.
It's an easy Monday night quarterback.
But
easy take. It's easy
but
take.
hold on. Defensively, Luka is the worst superstar ever. He's worse than Curry was in his prime defensively.
Sure.
Jalen Brunson.
No, I can't say that because of his rebounding. He gives you something on the defensive end. Yeah, right. But that's a part of defense. He can close out, but he can be a rebounding effort for you. And when you put him around bigs and he's able to crash in, he's going to clean up a lot. And the biggest problem we had on defense in that series was not people scoring on Luka. It was the blow-bys by Luka and then offensive rebounds. So I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it wasn't like people were hitting jump shots on Luka. They were driving, and then Rudy Gobert was putting it back, and Julius Randle was putting it back. So, but go ahead.
No, I was saying that I don't, unlike offensive skills, your prime defensively tends to be when you are younger. And he looks like he's getting worse at his young age defensively.
You got LeBron, but that's another point.
Yeah, you could. Let's hope that's what it is, right? But
y'all ever notice that his left knee bleeds every game?
It's his left knee.
Yeah, do y'all ever notice that?
Nah, I
noticed it a couple of times. I don't know if it's every game, but I have noticed it a couple of times.
I'm always confused. Like no one never talks about that, but literally, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's not every game, but you've seen it enough where it's a recurring thing. Where like by the end of the game, there's like a blood stain on Luka's tights on his left knee, and I'm always like, "What the hell is that?" Like,
right? No, that's a fact. Now I do notice he does have. I don't know if it's his left knee or not, but I do notice like a spot
all the time, right?
Yeah, even when the Mavericks used to have that.
Yeah, so I don't think even when he went to the finals last year, they said that he was playing through a lot, and then it caught up to him at the beginning of the season. He missed a lot of time, so I think there's also an aspect of that where like we got to get him healthy, and then see what that looks like.
Motivated too, man. Like we can't run from the issue. This man, he's looking like a player that is so bad defensively that he's as great as he is offensively, he might not be able to overcome it. And getting all these pieces around him, it might not even matter. He needs to get better defensively. We don't know that will happen. And then you got LeBron, who for the first time in these playoffs looks like he really regressed for the first time. And he's old.
Do you think the role change has anything to do with that I explained? Because did you perceive the
Nah.
same thing I said? But did you
Nah.
perceive that role change?
Yeah, no. Like, I'm cool. I think that's a perfect role for him now. But I'm just saying.
No, but did you see it change? Like
Yes.
the way he was playing with Luke in the regular season, because AR didn't show up, he had to mid-series switch his whole mentality. And I think that played into his effectiveness. I really do. He didn't prepare to try to play the way that he had to play in that series.
No, I see that too. But at the same time, I saw fatigue. I saw lack of energy. So like that, these are the type of things that are going to get worse because he's old. He's getting so old. He's becoming old in life, not just NBA. Not just NBA.
He's not old in life, bro.
I said he's getting there. He's over 40. He is over 40.
Oh yeah, so I agree with you, but doesn't that even stand more to the point? Doesn't that stand more to my point that it's time to build a young core and turn LeBron into the vet that brings him over the edge? Like LeBron James, he's been in the core his entire time. Is like, I think this year we have to look at LeBron as not being in the core of the team. He's got to be the vet that is the extra on top.
Nah, man.
I don't even know that he stays with the Lakers next season. I'm not going to front.
No, he is.
Yeah. But what do you say to that? Like, what if that's our approach to the offseason? That like we have to go
right approach.
We have to actually go get a core. LeBron is no longer the core of the team.
My thing is this, right? I think there's one more year of LeBron being able to play in that role and not hurt the team that much. One more year. After that, he might have to go to the bench. And I don't see him ever doing it. I don't ever see him doing it. He's getting there. It's getting there. Defensively, you can't have Luka.
I thought he had a really good series defensively, actually.
Nah.
He had a great series defensively.
Nah.
Yeah, he did. He had a great series defensively. I think he averaged like 2 steals and 2 blocks for this series. He had a great defensive series.
Than that.
He had LeBron wasn't getting killed. What are you referring to? He had a really good defensive series.
Really good as
he did.
I don't know. He could have handled Julius Randle. I'll tell you that.
That's a mismatch, though.
Is it really? It's not supposed to be.
It's not a mismatch.
It's not supposed to be. It's because he's old. That's why it's a mismatch.
No, but LeBron's not a big, guys.
He's the same size as Julius Randle, man.
Yeah, but what I mean by is that LeBron's primary defensive role is not to be getting backed down for 40 minutes a game. That's not.
So you think he has enough foot quickness to keep up with guys on the perimeter? Is that what we're saying?
He did a much better job on the perimeter this series than guarding Julius Randle.
He's going to be guarding a lot of guys that's his size. It's Julius Randle, man.
Size is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what type of players you're defending. I don't think LeBron James has ever, and definitely not as he aged, should be primarily guarding back down players and getting bumped and bruised up.
I think in this modern day era,
but he had to because we had no bigs.
But I think in this modern day era, it's getting increasingly harder to hide players. This is why Stephen Curry is getting abused by Alvin Thompson, who's a rookie.
I don't think you have to hide Bron. I don't see Bron getting ISO'd by perimeter guys and killed.
No, I'm saying you're saying he's not guarding. He shouldn't be guarding guys his size. He should be guarding perimeter type players, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying
no, not size. It's just play style. I'm not talking about height. I'm like Jaden Daniels is arguably taller than Julius Randle, and I think LeBron is better served guarding a Jaden Daniels than Julius Randle. It's the play style. He shouldn't be guarding back down guys.
And then when they run a switch, a pick just to get the switch, and now they post him up now. Then what? It's getting harder to.
It was much easier when you had Anthony Davis and help.
Wasn't Nico Hashim correct?
No, I'm just saying if we get a rim protector, then I think LeBron can do a better job of funneling on the post up, right? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Listen, it's not. I get your positive perspective because it's not unrealistic at all. But if I'm a Lakers fan, I don't.
But when you say shook, what is the fear? What should we be afraid of?
You shouldn't have players that talented and not be a championship contending or like favorite type team. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen with Luka because it's getting to the point. Hold on, wait, real quick. Because it's getting to the point, right? Luka's been in the league long enough where you could say he could get better because he's young enough, but we've seen him enough to know, okay, in the playoffs, he's gonna go off. He's gonna be one of the greatest offensive players ever in the playoffs.
Which he did. Which he did.
But defensively, he's so bad it might not even matter. That's crazy.
Question though,
and that might not change. And if that does not change, y'all not doing anything, and it's going to be disappointment for the next 5 years.
I would have that fear if I felt like what happened to him last year was replicated this year. But can you honestly say this Lakers roster is as good as the Mavericks roster last year that went to the finals in the West?
Yes.
No.
Well, okay, no, because they don't have any
No.
big.
They had three centers. They had 3 centers on that team.
Yeah, but they had less offensive talent.
It's debatable.
You could debate it, but I'm
Kyrie from a perimeter scoring standpoint gives you more perimeter scoring than Bron did. AR didn't show up. PJ Washington,
but you have him though, and he's talented.
I know, but this is my point. AR didn't show up.
Well,
so if he doesn't show up, then the situation is where. If we're talking about evaluating Luka, if AR, I know, but I'm saying if we're evaluating Luka, if AR doesn't show up, then he's not in a similar situation to last year. So that's what I'm saying. If he was in a similar situation to last year and we got bounced in the first round, I would be like, oh, he regressed. But I would say this situation was distinctly worse.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? No AR, no bigs. Like I can't really evaluate Luka.
I'll say this: y'all lost in 5. So even if AR showed up, what, you lose in 6?
But all the games were close, minus game 1.
The last game wasn't close. What the last game?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Until the last 2 minutes, I guess. Yeah.
Not even 2 minutes. I would say the last 45 seconds we were doing the fouling game and they were able to go up 10 because we would foul, they would hit 2, and we would come down and not score. But I would say like
when it gets to that point, it's not close enough to me to say it's close. I think it's not
a blowout. All right, so I would say with a minute 30 seconds left, it was a 3-point game.
Yeah.
We missed the shot. They hit a 3 to go up 6 with a minute left. That's a close game. What happens after that was foul game stuff. But we really lost the game by 3 to 6 points.
I think y'all have a glaring hole that I don't know will ever be fixed, and that's why I would be shook.
I would agree with you. Let's see if the same thing is true when he has a comparable roster to the one he took to the finals.
And let me say this as well:
put 3 centers on our team and some size and athleticism. Let's not, because we don't ignore that as well. That Dallas team was way more athletic than this team.
Yes.
So put Luka in a Lakers jersey with 3 centers and athletes, and if they still don't get to the finals, or if they get to the finals and flame out because of Luka's defense, then I'll say what you're saying. But I can't say that this year because it's like
fair.
It's
that's
just,
fair.
You know what I mean? Like
JJ Redick,
he has growth to do.
You no, but the thing with his attitude might get him run out of LA.
No. We like it. Just get better. We like stubbornness. We like strong personalities, but just get better. Pat Riley was the same way.
No, I know.
Just win. Win. You'll be all right. Just win.
Right. But you like it until you don't. And the thing is,
if you don't win. But again, same thing with him. I'm not evaluating him because again, I don't think he had the talent that.
And I think
the team that we built on the original blueprint of the year, he got that team playing the way he wanted them to play. Right when we played y'all in the Garden, we were the best defensive team in the league. You switch that and don't reconstruct the team, I can no longer evaluate JJ Redick because he's putting a game plan on a roster that was not built to execute that game plan. And that's what leads to him playing those 5 guys 24 minutes straight because he's like, these are the only guys in this roster that can play the way I'm trying to get us to play now. So,
JJ Redick,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. But JJ Redick, I'm talking about for the next few years, right?
Let's see if they build a team for him though.
Okay, he's arrogant, and what I saw is that sometimes when you know the game that well, when you're smart, like really smart, sometimes you're too smart for your own good, and you don't do the obvious things because you're trying to do too much. Like play a center that you have on your bench when you're letting Rudy Gobert get 27.
Completely agreed.
20,
Completely agreed. And his excuse
I could see him doing things like that.
Score.
I could see him doing things. Yeah, I could see him doing things like that a lot. And if he does that and then has the same attitude, the same arrogance, the same everything, that's when I could see the switch.
No, because like
you said, win.
The whole year went against that because again, I think he's methodical. So I think what you saw is and I talked about this in terms of coaching, in terms of like dealing with adversity. I think what you saw is he wasn't experienced enough to coach well on the fly. He's a preparation execution guy. So when you look at the regular season, when he like took time to evaluate what his roster,
Is that what you're saying?
adjusting is different, right? Adjusting and coaching on the fly are two different things. I think when you know what you have and you know the different versions you can play, there's a skill in adjusting to those different versions. I think that he didn't quite know. I think he didn't have enough time to figure out what other ways of playing with this roster works. In the short 20 to 40 games they had, where LeBron missed a lot of time, where Luka missed a lot of time, I think they only actually identified one way of playing that worked. So when the playoffs, when that didn't work, he looked at his bench and he was like, I haven't figured out what other way to play with this team yet. So he had no preparation, so he couldn't execute. And that's what it looked like out there. On the court, it looked like they don't really know how to get it done, and they're trying to talent their way through it. And they damn near did 4 out of 5 games, right? But like the way they played in the regular season, when they were prepared and executing, he had figured out one way to play for them that worked. But in the playoffs, obviously we scout and we prepare. They had scouted that way of playing, and it was working for the first 4 minutes. And then Christopher was like, "Yeah, I've seen this before. Let's do this." And that's what I'm saying. Build a roster around Luka. Give JJ Redick a summer to prepare for that roster, create different styles of play for that roster, and then give him a whole year of regular season to work through that. And let's see what he does.
I don't know, because he had enough. I give that to you in terms of like if they lost more pieces than just AD, but he still had Gabe Vincent. He still had Dalton Connect.
AD the whole team was built around that guy.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, he's had the bench guys that he was looking at that you were talking about. He's had them all year. So I don't.
It's style of play, though, right? He trusted them to play the way that they had played for half the year, and then he had trusted them to play the single style of play that they figured out for the second half of the year. They now had to play another way. In that series after game 1, a realization was made, we can't play that way, and he's had no data on any of those guys playing a different way. None. He hasn't tried it. He hasn't had to.
I mean,
or he didn't get to.
You're getting your ass kicked in the playoffs. You got to try something. I don't.
I know, but here's what I'm saying. He has no data on how well those guys can play this new way that they haven't played all year.
I hear you. I'm saying to say that and be like, we're losing and not even try is a mistake.
But here's the thing: they're losing games, but they weren't. It wasn't like they were losing in the game all the time. Game 4, he led. I know, but think about when you're coaching in game, right? Game 4, we were up by 10 most of the game. Most of the game, we were up by 10. We lost that game in the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter.
So this idea,
I know, but here's what I'm saying: to say like, "Oh, we're losing," you got to try something else. That's not how the games are going. The result is like that. Oh, we lost 3 straight games of the series. But in the actual games, it wasn't like, oh, we're losing, try something else. Game 1, those guys are making more shots than they've ever made in their life. You throw that one away. Game 2, we win. Right there, you're feeling like, okay, we got something going. Game 3, first game in Minnesota, it's a back and forth game. Luka's sick. Again, I don't know what to do. We don't have a game plan for this team with Luka sick and not being Luka. We don't know,
because they've had games where AD was out and it's just LeBron with them.
That's a different player. You see what I'm saying though?
AD's out. You have LeBron and the same guys you've had all year. You have a rotation.
Nah, it's a different team. You're acting like Max Christie wasn't a main part of that rotation when AD was out.
That's true too. That's fine. That's true.
Right? All those roles are different, man. All those roles are different. So game 3, that's the challenge, right? Luka's not Luka. I gotta try to figure out a way for these guys to play without Luka when they've just spent the last 3 months. They were trying to learn how to play with Luka. Now in the middle of the playoffs, Luka's not Luka, and I gotta try to get these guys to revert to something or figure out a new. Remember, you prepare, you have game plans, you have plays, and you show up and a guy's not there, and it's your main guy, and you're like, all right. So that's what I tossed game 3 up to. Game 4, again, we're winning most of the game. Most of the game we're winning, and you lose the rope in game 6. And then in game 5, he was just coaching desperate. So when I break it down like that, that's what I see, is that you had these challenges that you were not
Wasn't
prepared
desperate
for.
enough.
Right. I think actually he was too desperate. I think not playing Jackson Hayes was the desperation.
That was a mistake. That
I
was
agree.
absolutely a mistake.
I agree, but that's what I'm saying.
I think
When you-
yes, he's
go
a
ahead.
first-year coach, but and we saw in some of these comments before, I think you have, I know it's only 20 to 40 games, but you have a lot of time to figure out your alternative plans, and he didn't do any of that. That's why he didn't win Coach of the Year. That's
How
why
did he have enough time?
he had 40 games to figure it out, at least practice some other lineups. Do something.
Is
You
that
have
really a lot of-
time.
is that
We're not
really a
gonna-
lot of time.
40 games? 40 games is a lot of time.
Well, and again, here's where I go back to the case study. Was it enough time the first year of Kyrie and Luka together?
Was it the first time with Kyrie and Luka?
Was it enough time? Was 40 games enough time when Kyrie and Luka first got together?
Wasn't last year when they went to the finals their first year together?
Should be a Knicks thing.
That wasn't their first year together. That was their second year together.
How far
Kyrie
they in
got-
the first year?
Kyrie, maybe the first round. I don't even remember.
So I'm jealous.
Kyrie got traded mid-year. It didn't work out. Kyrie signed the extension. They had an off season together. They came back, went to the finals. So again, I'm going off Luka case study, right? History has shown 40 games is not enough time to figure it out, pairing Luka with other guys. That's what history has shown. He's a very distinct player. Like you can't just. It's kind of like LeBron. Like you can't. Like LeBron was so good, he would figure it out. But LeBron didn't start overhauling his teams mid-year until he was well in his 30s, right? And he figured out how to do that.
Yeah.
Luka's 25. I don't think Luka has learned how to adjust in 40 games to a whole new team.
Luka needs to adjust his defense. That's what he needs.
Yeah, we know that though. We know
Listen,
that.
I think at a point we're going to be going in circles.
I don't think we go
have
overlooking
the whole
him.
summer.
No, but you're bringing up a different point that was different than Paul. And again, I agree with all your points. I'm just pointing to the context that makes me not panic about it. That's all. Like nothing y'all are saying is wrong. I'm just saying in context, it's not a dire concern, which is the first time it's felt like that in years. All these issues
Yeah, you got a little time now.
seem easily addressable with time, right? We couldn't address AD's injuries every year because it was like every year it could tank us. We couldn't address our salary being sunk into 3 players and the rest of the roster sucking. We couldn't address that, right? Like
LeBron needs to be with whatever though.
Alan, you have any point on this before we lock this out? Because I really gotta go.
I was just gonna say I really agree with the point you said that it's time for LeBron to not be like the focus of the franchise, but like more so like I forgot what you said, but like essentially
The veteran on top.
Yeah, veteran on top.
He's the extra. He's the extra.
But in order to do that, he can't be making $54 million a year no more. So I don't know if that's gonna happen. So I could see this being LeBron's like last year coming up.
Well, we could play with it. Austin Reeves is still on a great discount contract. And Luka, I know, but Luka is still technically under contract. We don't have to give him his extension this year.
But what about everybody else though? All the other players you need to like build around Luka and stuff.
The rest of our roster is cap free. The rest of our roster is cap free. Everyone was on 1-year deals, which is what I'm tired of. But now we see why they did that, right? Now they have nothing holding them down. LeBron is a free agent, technically, so we can figure out what we're going to pay him. Austin's on a team-friendly contract. Everyone else is on low deals. Vanderbilt's on a low deal. I think he's locked in for 1 more year. I think Rui is on a low deal, locked in for 1 more year. And DFS is on a low deal, locked in for the rest of the roster. You can build out. And we have money because Luka's not making that much. And AR is not making that much. And we can determine what LeBron's going to do. But it's not Supermax. It's a rookie max.
So how much is that? Like,
I'll tell you right now.
It's still 50.
Even if I think it's like 40s. Even if it's 40s, that's lower than the 70 that he's about to get.
1 year.
This next year is the last year of his current contract.
I still think LeBron needs to be with whatever.
Hold on, let Alan finish though. Let Alan finish.
But that was my point. Like, if let's say Luka's making 40 and LeBron's still making 50, that's 90 of like your 135 or so. So it's gonna be tough to make a long-term roster with that. But either
45
way,
million. I mean, you signed 3 vet min guys at you do 2 15s and then like a 9. You can't get two centers for $15 million.
If all that's available, you don't know if all those guys will be available on the open market. You know what I mean? So it's tough. But either way,
No availability, but in terms of like that's I don't think it's if they're available, you can get a center for $15 million. That's good.
Yeah, if they're available.
Right.
And that's just also one
that's
player.
different than the prior years because the prior years we were trying to get certain kind of players, we were looking for players that really was going to be making 20, 25 million.
Yeah.
That's why it seemed far-fetched. Right now, we just need a couple players that are making 9 to 15. We can find that.
We won't see. But other than that, I think the LeBron guys take a big pay cut to do that.
He
If
ain't
he
gonna
doesn't
do
want to do that, I could see this upcoming year being his last year. I think he's been kind of like hinting towards that big finale season, but he's gonna have to announce that. So we'll see how this summer plays out.
All right. Another good episode, fellas.
Always.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Cavs Pacers going 7.
Oh
Cavs
yeah, I think so too. I think so
I-
too.
Listen,
Knicks and
I've been
six.
respecting the Pacers the past 2 years, man. They're not
I
like
agree with the
some type of
Pacers.
like little
Cavs
team
are
They're not
anymore.
chumps.
The
They're not
Cavs are a
chumps.
juggernaut, though.
They're a juggernaut that play very similarly to the Pacers as
And,
far
and,
as like
and in
with the
a
three.
shootout, I'm taking the team that has 2 7-footers to get a stop.
In a shootout, I'm trusting the team with a stretch 5 to shoot more and more efficiently and get better shots.
I don't know that they get better shots than the Cavs.
Yeah,
We'll
They don't
see.
get they don't get better shots than the Cavs. The Cavs get whatever they want every time.
I see Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland taking some hard shots sometimes, and they go in a lot. But it's the playoffs now.
Like I said, they get whatever they want. I'll do Cavs at 6. I'll do 6. I don't see them pushing 7. I think the Cavs are gonna get some stops down the stretch of like the key games, like 3 and 4, and go up 2-1.
It's Knicks and 6, Pacers and 7.
You really got the Knicks
You
at
got the
6, bro?
Pacers. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I never believed in the Cavs, man.
No, the
sorry.
Knicks Celtics. Y'all really think that's not going 7 games? Y'all haven't beat them once this entire year.
Yeah,
Knicks.
Let me
I think
We
it's
haven't had
Celtics.
Mitch for this many. We haven't had Mitch this available this entire season.
If
Yes,
you win,
man.
it'll be in 7 games.
No,
I'm
it
sorry.
won't. If we win, it will be a 6. If it goes to 7, we might not win.
That's a fact.
That's your only chance of
What?
winning. Your only chance of winning is that you're not beating the Celtics in 6 games.
Yeah, I agree.
We're
with
You're
that.
delusional. You're delusional.
All right, watch. This is different. I'm telling you right now. This is a different
Well,
team.
I will say the Celtics
You got
are.
something
I
special
think
going
they
on
got
here.
some injuries too. I think Drew
Tap
Holiday's
in.
injured.
New
They got
Yorker.
some injuries going on. So
Listen,
we'll see.
Alright.
But I think
Tatum,
if
I
they're
gotta
healthy,
go.
I
I
think
gotta go.
Celtics and
I
6.
don't care.
Let's wrap. I gotta go.
And I
get
got
this hair.
the Rockets beating the Warriors to go to the second round.
Never
and I got the
pick it.
Nuggets.
Never pick it against Steph Curry.
Agreed.
I respect it, but
Agreed.
You know why? Also, because I think I want Ant to keep walking down legends.
This has been a crazy run.
I want
like
Ant
that.
to keep
This
walking
has
down
been a
legends.
crazy run he's been on.
Frank Van Vliet might
Okay.
get that legend though.
No, put Steph Curry in front of Ant. Put Steph Curry, because you know what this is? This is him taking the league, but it's a topic for another day. It's a topic for another day. So we're watching. Because Paul, you always used to say you got to beat the guy to be the guy. Ant is currently walking down the entire past era, one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rockets
So
better.
put Steph Curry in front of that man so he can end it. End the era.
Word.
And it's ending the era.
Yeah, he's got to beat Kawhi. He's got to beat Steph and Kawhi to do that.
Is Kawhi part of that? Because of all
Yeah,
the
Kawhi's part of that. He's not
Kawhi's
part of
part of
three-headed
that.
monster. His chip count too low.
Oh,
KD's part of that. And his chip counts the same.
But it's Kevin Durant.
It's Kawhi Leonard.
Nah,
That's
come on,
the
come on,
actual
come on.
reason that his team
I
won.
don't know,
Come on.
man.
All time, all time,
Actual
all
reason
time,
his team
all
won.
time.
The guy that
I can't do this. I can't do this. I have
the
to,
guy that actually won it.
I have to go. Light it up.
Jeez.
Come on. It's Fastbreaks. Listen. We back with another one. Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break. Throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break. Throw me the outlet.